So I've got no rhyme or reason how we're going to do this week because
that's okay. Bungie doesn't either. We honestly we could sit here and say, well, we were going to do a podcast, and then we decided not to. And we got some feedback from the team, and we decided to take it back. And next week we'll be back with the podcast. The end. Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Let's go with that.
Hi, guys, and welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast, a show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing the game even more. What makes us different? Well, for starters, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 info, news, and opinions. We do encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter, and that's the number 2. Now, on with the show.
So I suppose we better welcome people to the show.
No, we don't.
Okay. Well, don't then.
Yeah. I don't have to. You can't make me.
That's Respawn.
103 weeks in, they should just feel welcome. Peroty welcomes you.
That's
Nitedemon welcomes you.
I welcome you. It's Nitedemon.
Respawn's over in a corner. He's going to throw some sort of ice thing at you, and there should be a wall. There should be a dot.
I was going to say feces. He was going to throw feces.
See your way out.
Look, I'm more evolved than feces. Okay, I have rocks and guns. All right.
Swords and guns.
No.
Bows and
rocks.
Guns. Bows and swords and guns.
You underestimate the power of a rock. Did you know that an arm-mounted slingshot can send a rock through a tree? Most guns can't even do that.
How is that related to Destiny?
Because I said rocks and guns, and you said no, swords and trees, and I said no, rocks. I have rocks.
Where's he gone?
Oh. I don't know.
He doesn't want to talk to us. As soon as you started saying rocks and guns, that was it. He was out of it. He was like, no, I'm anti-gun law. Is he coming back?
I have no idea.
Oh. What should we do?
I have no idea.
You're still here, though, aren't you?
I am very much here.
And we're still recording.
We are still recording. Yep.
That's good. Well, I'll just take people through next week in Destiny then. So, Primeval's here. Defeat enemies and bank motes with extra infamy in Gambit. Destroy... I don't even know the name of this. The Ania, and the Hive Nest in the Broodhold Nightfall, the Ordeal Strike. And Lord Shaxx is going to bring Clash to the Crucible. And when Peroty returns to the Discord server, we will ask him, what is Clash? He's gone completely now.
Yeah, give him a minute. Give him a minute. Hold on.
Two hours later.
The prodigal son has returned.
Yeah, apparently Respawn threw a rock through my CPU, and it all went dark and just stopped working. So, whole thing just froze.
You're back just in time to answer, Peroty. What is Clash?
Clash is where you run in and shoot people and throw rocks at them, and that's it. The objective is basically the same objective as Iron Banner. You just run in and you shoot people, and you ignore anything else.
Because there's no zones to capture.
No zones to capture, no boxes to pick up, nothing to do. Just run in, shoot the men's, run over there, shoot different men's.
So, in your opinion, do you prefer Clash to, say, Control? Is it something that you prefer more, or do you lean towards Control a little bit more?
I lean toward Control a little bit more because it's sort of, well, in theory, prevents people from camping quite so much and sort of gives you an idea of where people are going to be and go.
Yeah.
Clash, I mean, I do like that there is just a flat-out deathmatch, and sometimes I just want to run in and just play a deathmatch. No objective, no anything else. But I do like the sort of the team-based nature of Control and just giving you some point to do. And since I'm horrible at callouts or, remembering what the names of maps are 7 years in, I can be like, they're at A or B or C, and people go, where is that? I go, I can't help you. Over there.
True. So we've gone through next week in Destiny. So we've got some triple infamy and double infamy Is it triple infamy? Did I say?
All the infamy.
Extra infamy. They don't say triple or double. It's just extra infamy. So normally it's double during the week and triple at the weekends. And they class Friday reset as the beginning of the weekends, don't they?
I believe so.
I'm never sure whether it finishes at the reset on Monday or it just continues through till the full reset on the Tuesday that you get the triple. I've never kind of investigated either with, Crucible or Gambit.
Yeah, usually it's just if something is giving me bonus something, I play a lot of that week. Just like this week was bonus Valor and Iron Banner, so I was in Iron Banner all week. Next week I'll be in Gambit all week and maybe get around to doing that new Crow mission. And the thing is the game's going, hey, over here, a shiny thing. I go, yeah, I don't care about the shiny thing. It's Iron Banner week. You've given me a task for the week, I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. I have found though this week when we played Iron Banner this week together, I really, really enjoyed it. And I think the thing that I'm missing from my games at the moment is just having somebody else there, because I've lost Blue at the moment. It's just I'm not that incentivized to kind of just get on and play now. I think, like you said, it is the friend game, and I think that's kind of contributed to it because I haven't got anybody there at the same time as me now. Yes, I can go off and do all my other little things that I want to do or kind of need to do, but it's always nice to just have somebody else with you or have a team with you.
Yeah, very much so. Because I've been playing mostly solo, except for the couple times we've raided and things this season. But yeah, it was really nice just to be on with someone. Whether we won, whether we lost, it didn't really matter, and I don't remember. I feel like we won and lost both our fair share of games. But yeah, it's just nice to have someone there to hang out and talk and celebrate with and commiserate with and be like, oh, that was a stupid thing I just did, and have someone laugh with you and at you at the same time. Yeah, the friend game is definitely why I play it. I've been thinking a lot this week, especially, seeing people, definitively, here's why this is bad, here's why this sucks. I'm like, yeah, but I enjoy the people I'm playing with. And in some days, it almost doesn't matter whether it's Destiny or if it be something else you can just sort of hang out with and enjoy. It's the people I'm playing with sometimes more than the content. Although that said, I was thinking this week, do I enjoy playing Destiny because it's Destiny or because it's the people I can play it with? And it's still both. Like, I'm still enjoying Destiny. I'm still enjoying the game. There's still, even with all the stuff they removed, there's still planets I haven't set foot on. I haven't even touched the new light quest. I haven't been back to the Dreaming City except for to give Petra a piece of candy or a cake or whatever one time. Like, parts of the game I just do not touch. I'll go and play the thing I'm obsessed with and then move on with life. And I still really enjoy it.
Like you said, that was the thing for the last week or two. There's been a lot of big content creators and a lot of YouTubers and streamers that are all saying we're quitting Destiny. We're fed up with it. And they've all got.
How many times has MTash said that? I'm sorry. No, there's been so many videos of MTash saying that he's quit. I can think of 3 right now off the top of my head where he does the same thing. This is what they do, man. This is what they do to get people to like, oh my God, this individual is going to quit Destiny? Oh, psych. No, he was just talking about how he's got everything. Yeah.
No, but I think sometimes they do it for a good reason because they want to get the attention of Bungie to say, look, I've supported you all this time. I've made all these videos. We've covered so much stuff, but you need to do something about your game because there are a certain amount of people that aren't happy with this element. And, they do go into a discussion in their videos and sometimes
that doesn't really sound helpful. Like earlier, Peroty posted something that I think is very helpful. I mean, he found some guy that introduced a whole new game mode for Destiny that, if done the way the guy describes, is completely feasible to Bungie. Right? It wouldn't even be that hard. Hell, we've had something similar to that already within the game where when you went into the green room for the Whisper Quest and you went down and they just never stopped coming.
Yeah.
They've already implemented something similar. Just give a reward system to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
throw a matchmaking and a reward system. Having good 6-player match-made content that isn't endgame, that isn't. You don't need a coordinated team. You just need 6 random humans like we had with the Sundial. I really miss that because it was a lot of fun, and you didn't have to have a coordinated team. You just you and between 1 in 5 or none in 5 friends could go and do this, and there just isn't anything like that anymore.
Yeah, but like the Sundial one, you had like a thing you had to do while fighting the enemies, right?
Right. Yeah.
What you proposed is just a horde based thing. They're just going to keep spawning until you hit a thing, a limit, a number, a time, something.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he basically proposed Halo Firefight, which you would think Bungie would have some idea how to build again.
I don't know what that is. The way he described it, it seemed a lot like zombies.
Peroty, explain what the firefight is.
Yeah, I mean, Halo Firefight was basically a mode where you would pick a zone, and you would go in with a friend or a couple. I can't remember if it was what the limit was, because honestly, Panoramics 18 and I played it endlessly. So it would just be the two of us, and we'd go in, and you would just shoot. They would just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, and there were certain boss rounds. And I can't even remember if there was an end point to it. It's been a while since I played it now. But yeah, they would just keep coming forever. It would just be an endless horde of different kinds of enemies. You would just gun down 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 or 3 by 3. Hurrah, hurrah. And it was really just that open, like you were basically like in a big, to use Destiny parlance, you're in a big patrol space. It would be sort of like if you were just like hanging out in Europa, and then like, you fight a line of Vex, then you fight a line of, harder Vex, and then harder Vex and harder Vex. Okay, you got through the Vex. Let's bring in our Fallen and go up the ranks of Fallen, fight your way through them. And, then there'd be some kind of boss at each level that would give you some kind of reward. It would just, it's like, it's sort of, it would be like Escalation Protocol, but a little less, almost like a little less tied to anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sort of like, hey, go out there and kill as many people as you can. And even if the number is just how many people can you kill, how far can you get, have that drop you loot at certain points, or just at that point, loot at random. Say, okay, hey, you kill this guy, get an exotic, enjoy. There's some percentage of a chance just to go play this activity and get a reward from it.
I think that would be a good idea to actually have a horde mode, very similar to how you have with Gears of War, where you just constantly have waves and waves of enemies. And like you said, have different levels of skill for those enemies. You start off really slow, but maybe it's just unlimited, that you can just, like when Glad did the Haunted Forest, that he was trying to get through as many branches as he could, and they were getting ridiculous amount of numbers, but there was no reward at the end. So maybe if the further and further you progressed, you got more chances of getting different rewards, and the rewards increased the further you went on, which would give more playability. Throw in a few emblems, throw in a few shaders every now and then as you got to certain points, but they would be the only points that say you could get that shader from. So say you got to like level 100, you got one shader to drop, so that would give the playability of you constantly getting to level 100 if it was a good shader, that you couldn't repurchase it back out of your collections, things like that. That would give people more incentive to actually go and do those if they were really good shaders, or they were really good emblems that you could only get at certain points. And say with the weapons, that maybe you got to level 250 and you got an adept version of a weapon to drop in that game mode. That would be really good. Just constant loot and being able to just play, and maybe do like a solo mode, maybe do like you said, a 6-player mode, and depending on the variations of it, it would give you different loot for different things. So if you're doing single player, so if you are Glad or if you are Ibontis and you can solo certain events and you want to kind of go in and do this, like the Heroic Lost sectors, gives you a challenge, I think it'd be really worth it. And like you said, have bosses in there as well, not just barrier and shielded bosses. Just have, like we have with the dungeons, bosses with mechanics that you need to either work as a team to take them down, a bit like a raid. And I think that would give some of these people that are saying that there's no innovation or progression for Destiny, or no end game content for them to chase, as I'm not 100% sure. I mean, there is a lot of stuff for PvE players, but I think PvE players want more, don't they?
I think PvE players want more replayable things, because like there is some stuff where you can do, but the replayability of it is fairly low, and that's what I always enjoyed about Firefight. It was the replayability was really high, because it was sort of like if you ever played Left 4 Dead. When you went into Left 4 Dead, every single map, you're more or less going from point A to point B the entire time. That's always the objective. but the maps were procedurally generated. So every time it would be like, your power-ups would be different spots. Your enemies would be different spots. The giant, mega zombie who's going to murder your entire team, he's there somewhere. He'll never be around the same corner twice. You never know where he's going to show up. So there was always that, it always felt fresh and new. Even if you played the same map 15 times, it would be 15 different experiences going through it every time. And that's sort of what I enjoyed about Firefight is, you're going to have sort of the same progression of enemies, but it's going to be different. It's going to be the different kind of enemies. They're going to come out in different places. They'll run to a different spot to try to snipe you or send rushers to overwhelm you. And there were, I was looking at the Halopedia entry we'll put in the show notes just about Firefight. And there were generator defense modes. And so there were some other sort of objective-based things. Like, here are some generators you have to defend in addition to just taking down the hordes of enemies. And they had tied, basic, character unlocks and different voice packs. So there was, something you could get. It wasn't, going to help you in the game, but it was, it'd be the same thing as shaders or emblems or, little things in Destiny where it's a cool thing to have. You can enjoy it, but it's not going to, it's not like, oh, here's an end game, meta weapon you can get from it. Not saying you shouldn't, but it was just, a place you could go in and just hang out with a friend and shoot aliens until you're content.
Yeah. And maybe they could put in some of the core elements from what's actually in the game at the moment. Like I said, some of the raid mechanics, the strike mechanics, even a round of Gambit in there. So you have to go and kill the lads to get the motes to drop, to then bank, to progress past into the next section. Be sucked through Hive portals, Vex gates, Ascendant realms. There's various different things that they could really discombobulate the players as they progress further and further up in the ranks of, and then, have a scoreboard, have like they used to do with Destiny 1, where you could see who's got the highest score for the strike that week or the nightfall that week. See who's got to wave 2000. I know it's going to be Glad every week, but it'll give people something to aspire to.
Yeah, and honestly,
no, you got to give credit to Froggy and freaking Cheese Forever, because they'll find a way to get out of the map or find a glitch to exploit to get to level 999999999.
Yeah. And honestly, I enjoy there being some sort of leaderboard mechanic in the game, but honestly, the overall one is so much less interesting to me than a clan-based one. Let me go to my clan page, or let me go, access it through Charlemagne, Discord, something, or open the Bungie app and say, okay, who in the clan has gotten to the highest level? There's so many. I was looking at Destiny Tracker earlier. There's so, this game records so much data and so much stuff. I would love to see that more fleshed out, where you go to your clan page and be like, here's sort of, little leaderboard for these various categories or, various things. It's like all this data is there. And some of it, through the Charlemagne Discord bot, you can sort of explore and see, but so much of it is just hidden. I would love to see more stuff like that, where you can see, and even, I'd love to be able to do a weekly little clan challenge. Hey, this week, who can go in and get to the highest level in this mode, or who can go do this random thing, and just having some way to sort of have that data and just sort of do fun little things like that, where there isn't really a good way to do it now.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we're starting to dive down this rabbit hole, right? There are lots of things that Destiny could do. The point I was attempting to make was that these YouTubers are just like, oh, I'm quitting Destiny, and then they complain about Destiny, but they don't give any actual real feedback. I mean, they give their opinions on well, you can improve Crucible like this, or maybe do something in PvE, or they kind of hint at things, right? But they don't give solutions. They just complain.
I think the one that you're kind of referring to at the moment is the one that Datto put out this week, where he put, I think it was called his thoughts on Destiny going into 2021.
I mean,
and it was,
but I see the same thing repeatedly, especially from people like Rick Cactus. And you want to talk about Maester Sean being clickbaity? Rick Cactus is just as guilty. Right? I was watching something from him the other day talking about, what was it? A weapon roll to look out for, right? Yeah. And he beat around the bush for the first 10 minutes of the video before he finally got into it. I'm like, are you serious? Dude, get out of here. And things that are just completely unrelated is like, oh yeah, well, Destiny brought this gun into the game doing yada 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 yada, and you could have obtained it by doing these things and this and that, yada da 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 da. Okay, what's the god roll, dude? That's what I'm here for. Give me the info, right?
Yeah.
And that's another reason I love Cheese Forever, because he doesn't get enough credit for what he does, right? He just gives you the facts, and that's it. He's not there to freaking, pull 20 minutes out of your life for something that took 10 seconds to say. It's ridiculous. I hate that.
What I appreciate about Cheese's videos, not promoting him too much, is that he'll get to the facts, he'll show you what to do, and if you are interested in seeing how to do it for the full length of whatever it needs to be done, he then puts that at the end of the video now, so that you can see what he's talked about being put into play, which is really,
even better.
Yeah, there are people I've just stopped watching because I could watch you for 20 minutes and learn nothing, whereas Cheese and Fallout Plays will give you, here's a short, sweet, like honestly, Fallout's video I watched this week of Zur in under a minute, just to be like, what's he selling? Is it worth it? Yeah, I could go look it up somewhere else, but at least you'll show me, what does he have? Is any of it worth a damn? And I can get in, get out in under a minute. And I appreciate that. Like, he's done the really tight raid guides for, here's not 16 opinions on here. You can do it this way. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do this. Here's the encounter.
That's how he sucks you in, though. He gives you one piece of quality content, and then the rest is right? Because the Raids for Dummies videos you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't calling the rest of it crap. I was calling the rest of it good.
I think the rest
of Dummies is Kakis, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, no. I mean, Fallout has also done. He did the.
I missed the Fallout part. My bad, dude. I like Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout.
I'm sorry. I thought we were still talking about Kakis. I'm like, no, that's how he sucks you in with the Raid for Dummies, and then everything else is.
No. I haven't watched Rick Kakis in forever. Fallout did a Detail Encrypted, and he just did one for Last Wish, and he's like, why am I doing a Last Wish raid? He's like, because honestly, people watched the Deep Stone Crypt and they were like, well, how do you do this raid? Because there are a lot of people, myself included, that just haven't spent much time raiding in Destiny. So it's nice to see people putting out, new, tight, simple content for, hey, here's how you can get to this raid. If you've never stepped into it before, this will lay the groundwork. This will explain the encounters to you. Yeah, it's not quite as good as getting in there and doing it, because it's still like, I understand what I have to do. Still, performing the action is still up to me as a player. But I really appreciate that, here's a nice updated version. Because, people say, oh, there's 15 guides. It's been out forever. Yeah, but how many of those strats and weapons and whatever aren't there anymore? You can't do anymore.
Exactly. They get updated. They get sunset. All kinds of stuff.
Like, that's my biggest problem looking for anything in Destiny. It's like, this is great. When people will ask, well, how do I obtain this, or how do I do this quest? I'm like, well, I did it 2 years ago. It's now changed 6 times between now and then, and all the content I can find is from 2 years ago, the way I did it.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know.
And it applies all the time, because like I went to go do the Last Wish to give the cookie, right, to what's her face.
Yeah.
And last time I did it, the guillotine was the best way to do it, right? And then I came in there during the whole Christmas thing, and they were using this crazy ass strat that involved swapping weapons and everything. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? And of course, we failed multiple times because I have no idea what the hell's going on, And I was just like, why don't we just use the guillotine? And they're like, what? I'm like, somebody pop a well. Everybody, throw a round of your that grenade launcher that makes the pool.
Wither Horde?
Thank you. Somebody pop a Wither Horde if you have it, and then just go up and beat the crap out of it with the freaking guillotine. And you know what? We one-phased her. I'm like, why y'all trying whatever it is y'all are doing? And the same thing happened with the whole not Riven encounter before Shirochi. They're using different strats for her. I'm like, dude, shotguns still work. What are we doing? What the hell is going on? Yeah, because everybody wanted to use the new sword because the new sword is the new hotness. I mean, can you do it? Yeah, but I mean the classic shotgun strat is actually more consistent.
So why did you not just take the portal to Riven and hand him the cookie and move on with life?
Somebody wanted to do the whole raid.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I didn't deliver this year. I did last year because I just couldn't be bothered to go and
that, and I still don't have
the code and get the thing. I was like, there's no achievement for doing all of the cookies, so I did all of them but Riven because Riven got one last year.
Yes, there was.
Okay.
Achievement for it this year. But yeah, no, and on top of that, that raid
it's only worth 5 score though. It wasn't anything too bad.
Yeah. Oh well.
But this raid, I still not only don't have the God Roll auto rifle from it, I don't even have a good roll auto rifle for it. So if anybody wants to do Last Wish, I'm up for it just to get rolls for the auto rifle that I've only ever gotten 2.
I would love to have a decent forward path, or really a forward.
That's an auto rifle, isn't it?
Yeah, the Iron Banner auto rifle.
That one, yeah.
That's another one where, I mean, if I don't know where this show is sort of directionless from the beginning, as we have no TWAB or direction this week. So
we're just entertaining people. We're just having a good old time after the holidays.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was just gonna say. You know, I played a lot of Iron Banner this week because it's Iron Banner week, and I love it. And I played a whole bunch of hours with Nitedemon one night because I couldn't sleep. Because I was trying to do the whole I can't sleep, so I'm just gonna stay up all night and then reset my clock the next day. And normally I get tired at some point. No, never got tired. So got on with him at, I don't know, 1 or 2 a.m. my time, and we played straight through the night until about 8 a.m. or so when I had to get off and get ready for work, which was thankfully not driving anywhere. And yeah, we played some good British fellows. We played some Italian teams. I got a nice tour of like the Eastern and Western European bloc at, you know, the wee hours of U.S. time. So that was good fun. But just having, I think I ended up with like 300 and something tokens out of this Iron Banner. And I went and I gave them I gave none of them to Shaq. Gave all of them to Saladin this morning, and I got 2 forward paths, both of which garbage rolls on them. Ooh. And, a bunch of, and then it was just sort of a menagerie of other stuff. A couple steady hands, it was like a couple of these, a couple of those. Only one guiding sight scout rifle, but who cares? It's trash anyway.
Right.
And just like the loot and, random armor, a couple of shining, just sort of like a hodgepodge of here's sort of a couple of everything you could have.
Yeah.
And I wish there was some, if you're not going to give me repeatable bounties, you're not going to give me any way to say, let me pick up a bounty and say, go get auto rifle kills and Iron Banner to earn a forward path. Like, build that mechanic into the game that we have in the game in other places. Give me at least some way to say, give me a weapon drop. Let me narrow down this loot pool, because it's all the weapons, it's all the armor. Most of the armor is crap. The rolls are crap. I don't care about it. I have my one.
Agreed. Dude, the last few Iron Banners have given me just the worst armor rolls, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like some of them are in the 60s. And yeah, I mean, the stuff you get from the actual, the 4 bounties, those are at least higher light level rolls. But everything else, it's like, why am I handing you tokens? Like, that's the reason the last 3 or 4, I've just been putting them all in the vault and said, I don't care. I would farm for a forward path or, the new hotness here or there, but other than that, I'm like, I can't care about these anymore. Like, I play Iron Banner because I love it. I've got 1,066 tokens still sitting in my vault from the last couple Iron Banners, and that was after spending a couple hundred last season to get. I can't remember what I was trying to farm.
You didn't spend enough tokens, right? Not enough grenades, not enough tokens. That's your problem.
That's true, but I saw on Reddit earlier a guy who had spent, I think, 1,500 tokens. Trying to farm for the steady hand, and he was basically like, and he actually, had done his numbers, or he had played 100 Iron Banner matches, and he, looked at his matchmaking, the rewards, and then what he was able to get from the tokens, and he's like, do your 4 bounties and get out. It's not worth it. Was basically his gist of it. It's not worth. I mean, the replayability. You're like, I do it because it's fun, and because especially I was on with Nitedemon, we could have fun together. Yeah. But like as far as the reward goes from Iron Banner, it is not there. It is absolutely not there. And I absolutely saw the spectrum of. I actually spent most of this Iron Banner in the regular playlist. I did a little bit of solo, but I said, let me go in on the regular playlist and just see how that goes. And it was absolutely the gamut of you're getting stomped by the 3 guys in a trials team basically on one side, and then you on the other side. And some of them were perfectly well matched, and some of them were against, somewhat laggy Italians at 4 a.m., which I can kind of understand. And laggy, I mean, you throw a grenade, you melee, you shoot the guy with a shotgun, he runs away 3 steps, then falls over dead. So it's like, we'll register the kill for you, but it's going to be a minute, and he might kill you back first, which again, I understand. I'm on US East Coast. I'm playing on a UK server at a weird time against wherever is, quote unquote close to Nitedemon, which seems to be most of Europe and Asia. So, I understand, but it was definitely, as far as, if someone were to say, would you play Iron Banner for the loot? I would say yes. Go in, play it for the 4 bounties, and then get out. If you're not there to have fun or to hang out or because you just want to play PvP, there's no loot reason to keep playing it.
Well, I mean, I would argue with that, because if you are somebody that does like to chase different weapons and different weapon types, there are some really good weapons in the Iron Banner loot pool that if you just constantly play, you do have it's a very small chance, but you do have a chance of getting those as end game rewards. And you get the tokens to then throw at Saladin to see if you can get other rolls of it. So, the sidearm's really good, the auto rifle's really good, the grenade launcher is good, the sniper's really good. And depending on what you want and how long you've played Destiny, so if you've played Destiny forever, maybe you don't want to kind of do Iron Banner all the time, but there are some really good rolls of weapons in there. You can just do your 4 bounties and get out. But as Peroty said, it's a really good fun game mode, and I think that with the inclusion of the solo side of the playlist as well as the normal playlist, I think that has it somehow kind of balanced it out, where you can still get stomped in the single player and you can still get stomped in the team one, but the player base has kind of evened itself out a little bit more now, that there is a little bit more freedom in both. So I really enjoy that now.
Yeah, there's definitely the problem of, you may go into the team mode and there could be a 3 or 4 or 5 stack on the other team. But there's also the chance you could go in and there could be that 3 or 4 or 5 stack on your team, and you can just sit back and go, guys, I'm gonna be over here drinking my tea. You go and win the game for me. So there definitely is, it's sort of a higher risk, higher reward. Yeah, you absolutely could be mercied every single time, but you could also be with the guys mercying a couple times.
But you can still find that in the solo playlist. You could still find that they've decided they're going to put all 5 of the best players of Destiny on one side of the team, and you get just enough points to then match them again the next round, and they still not mercy you, but they still whoop your ass.
I mean, it's not as bad as the other game mode, though, I think. I mean, you're not wrong that RNG is still there, but you're less likely to completely get railroaded multiple times in a row in the single playlist than you are in the team playlist. I mean, because you are more likely to go up against teams, dude. I mean, it's just simple statistics, But no, I mean, there are some good rewards. Like, I've had the same forward path since season 14, right? And that's only because it came with red dot micro, steady rounds, dynamic sway, and iron grip.
Yeah.
But so it took me forever to get that, and I haven't gotten
season
anything
14
near
going
that
for
good.
you.
Sorry, nuts. Damn it. It says season 14 for the 1360 round. My bad.
So see,
I got it.
Out of the world, go to the future, get the good gun, come back from the future, and then you're all set. That's all you have to do, guys. It's that easy.
So whenever they first introduced Iron Grip is whenever I got this forward path.
Right.
That very first Iron Banner that introduced Iron Grip, right?
Right.
And that's when I got this. And I'm not going to lie, I got lucky on this roll because all of the hundreds that I've turned in since then has not given me anything anywhere even remotely close to as good as this, right? Yep. I mean, diamond in the rough is an understatement. And I'm right along with Peroty. Their rolls on everything, on weapons, on armor, on everything is crap. Back when we had the seashell armor when it first came out, remember that?
It's not crap. That's the thing. It's not crap. It's just RNG, and because there's more perks available, it's more RNG based. And I remember playing the Sundial from season 9, 10, whatever it was last year, to get enough. I can't remember what they were, tokens to basically feed those things up, so that I could see if I get a really good Steel Feather repeater. And I got like about 5 different ones because I like the 720 auto rifles. But that was me, and I think the reason why there are various different game modes where you could, if you want to, specifically farm to get different weapons. Although the Steel Feather thing I could kind of focus on, you can't really do that with Iron Banner, and it would be helpful, like Peroty said, if there was a way to focus to see if you could just play your tokens into just getting that specific weapon, which would be really innovative for Iron Banner to help progress it. But you can just constantly play the game and see if you can get some rolls on it, if that's the weapon that you really want.
Yeah, but the thing
and
about it
I
is,
do. It's not giving them.
it is crap because the perks that you get on the weapon are just not good perks, right? So like the one you're talking about, the steel feather. I have three of those, right? Because there were multiple really good rolls on that, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's not the case with the Iron Path. There aren't multiple really good rolls. There's 1, 2, maybe 3 really good
But
rolls on
if
there.
they took out some of those perks and just honed it down to near enough god rolls for each perk, I think like they did in Destiny 1, where you could buy a god roll from Lady Aphrodite, couldn't you? She offered you a god roll of armor and a weapon for that Iron Banner for that week, and you could either put your tokens into getting that, or
Yeah.
you could see if you can go and get your own god roll. But if they took out the perks and just gave everybody, literally, if you got like 3 different drops of it, one of those 3 different drops would give you the perfect thing. It would give nobody the incentive to carry on playing Iron Banner because they go, right, I've got that weapon, I've got
You
that
say
weapon,
that,
I've got that weapon.
but look at Peroty, right? Peroty loves Iron Banner, right? He
that's
plays
just
the
to
hell
play
out of it
Iron
because
Banner.
it's a yeah. But you see, you're saying that if you get what you want off the bat, you'd have no incentive. Why not? Right? If I
Well,
got
a
the
lot of
God Roll
players would think
armor
that.
and the God Roll weapon from Iron Banner that I wanted, and I like the game mode, right? I wouldn't even need the weapon or armor to enjoy the game mode. But let's just say I got the weapon and the armor. Well, hell, now I have to test it, right? How well does this God Roll weapon that I just got from the Iron Banner perform in the Iron Banner? Let's find out. You know what I mean? So, I mean, giving people what they want isn't a bad thing, dude. There are other
Yeah, but
reasons to
if
play a game mode.
If say you got that in the first Iron Banner of the season, so say you got it just before Christmas,
Sure.
why would you have any incentive to then play this week's Iron Banner?
I've played it.
No, but why would you? If you'd got your God Roll stuff in the last one, why would you then play it this one and potentially another one towards the end of the season?
Because A, you like the game mode. B, you're trying to get something else. Or C, you're playing with friends. Right?
Yes, okay. That's you, but in general terms of player base, the reason why we have so many different perks is because to give different roles to see if we can get people to play more.
Okay.
And if you took out those perks to give everybody the God roll the first week, not everybody would think like you or me or Peroty and just go, I love Iron Banner, I'm going to go and play it over and over and over again. A lot of people go,
I never
got my
said
God
I love
roll
Iron
game.
Banner. I said it's a game mode that you can replay even if you have the weapons and armor. I play with friends or if I have a goal in mind. I don't like PvP in general up to and including Iron Banana, right? So let's clear the air there. But there's also the armor, right? So like I was saying before, like I remember back whenever the seashell armor was just coming out, right? So a couple of seasons before that, I got a amazing set of Iron Banner armor, both looks wise and functionality, right?
Mhm.
And I had that armor on for multiple seasons, right?
Yeah.
And here I am. I still go into the Iron Banner to try to farm tokens, and I spend the tokens. And the last, I don't know, I've lost fingers counting how many Iron Banners I've done and turned in tokens that I've actually received a freaking good piece of armor, right? They're never high stat rolls. I say never. They're rarely high stat rolls for me. And when they
then
are
that's
high
the
stat
reason
rolls, they're
to try and get
stats
you to play
that I
more.
don't even need, you
Yeah,
know?
but that's the reason to try and get you to play more, to get more tokens to then plow into Saladin.
But it
to see
is
if you can get-
ridiculously hard, man. It
Well,
should
if it
not
was
be that
easy-
difficult.
If it was
No,
easy,
They
there'd be a
need to
lot of
find
people that
like
just
a
wouldn't
middle
bother to
ground,
carry on
dude. They
playing.
don't need to make like a god roll piece of armor 0.00000, raised to the power of 10% freaking difficult to get, right?
Yeah.
Percentage wise. There is such a thing as being too difficult, Bungie, and you walk that line on almost all of your content. You know?
So let's move away from Iron Banner because I'm sure everyone is going, oh, it's PvP. We don't care. We never play Iron Banner. We never play PvP.
Right?
Give me a reason to run a strike. I hate strikes.
double
They're
rewards?
so boring. They're so dull.
Oh, just regular strikes.
I cannot bring myself touch the strike playlist. Zavala basically thinks that I'm ghosting him. We have not spoken in years, practically.
You don't talk to the hunter god? What? Damn it, Titan, son of a...
I was gonna say, Zavala's
I'm
going through a
retired.
transition.
It's been too long since we've done a podcast. I'm retiring.
Needed a new hunter. Our hunter is broken. Yeah, but honestly, like I was thinking back again, thinking back to Destiny 1 when we had the strike scoring, when we had, sort of a reason to go into strikes even. I can't do it. Maybe I just broke myself doing all those pinnacle or ritual weapons with the strikes. You have to run 1 billion strikes to get a seasonal thing. Maybe I just broke myself and have never recovered. But I cannot step into the strike playlist. I can barely step into the Nightfall playlist.
There's nothing to do in a strike playlist. Now, Nightfall, on the other hand, I do have something to say. Yeah, Nightfall gives you rewards. They might not be the greatest, but you do get rewards. Me and our old clanmate, Stage 2, we spent the entire week doing nothing but Nightfalls to get like golf balls and stuff out of it. You know what I mean? So at least that has a reason. But regular strike playlist, I'm on board with you. There is no point.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, you get a chance to replay some of the stories that have happened through the game. They're not good, man.
If you want to, you can select them from the director and just go and play them individually. But yeah, I agree with you with the strikes. I think what harms it is the Nightfalls. Because if you want to, you can put it on a 1020? You can go into a player match-made activity to get potential at getting high power rewards from that. You get a chance at exotics, you get a chance at shards and cores just at the 1020. And you can play that over and over again. You can pick up the bounties from Zavala and go into that playlist, or not playlist, but you could just continually play the Nightfalls, which then makes the other playlists redundant. Even if they do try and tempt you with a powerful reward for doing 3, it's not worth it if you've been doing other content.
It needs to be more than just powerful, though, right? Because when you're max level, like me and a few other people are, right, that powerful drop does nothing. It
gives you another powerful drop to infuse into something else that maybe comes up that's really good. Say your Crimson's at 1050 and you want to infuse it to 1260. It gives you a reason to do that. That's the only reason you would constantly keep playing. So yeah, there's no point at that point in time. But then you kind of had to rush to get to a higher power level to get into the raid to do the day one, see if you could do it day one. But then after that, it's just kind of snowballed because you were at such a high power level, and then you've played the raid over and over again. You've got high powered drops to come from just doing that. Basically, you haven't gone around and done
my
all the
vault
other
is full
things
of
each week.
Yeah, but
But somebody like
I hear
Peroty,
your point.
Peroty and I, who didn't do a raid day one race. Are you at 1050 now, Peroty? Not 1050. 1250, sorry.
Am I 1050? Yes, I am.
Yeah, 1050. I'll be most of the gear in my vault is 1050. Thanks for noticing. Let's see. I'm sitting about without the artifact. Apparently, I am 1253 total, and about 1267 or 8 with the artifact.
See, and I think I'm about the same, but we haven't. We
Wait,
haven't
what?
even got to the end. Yeah, we haven't got to the end of the season. Realistically,
no, you were ahead of me the whole time, and here I'm thinking, look, I'm currently 1282. 1282, and I haven't said anything because I had a feeling that as soon as I said I'm 1282, Nitedemon would be like, bam, 1284. I'm like, you know what?
See, and this to bring it all the way back to Dado's point, this is the big problem with the leveling and the content. So, Dado basically goes on to say the end game content is lacking. Grandmaster Nightfalls are a good challenge but poor replayability.
Yep.
The game sort of wants you to focus on build creation, but then there's really nothing to do with those builds because you can lay waste to most anything. The leveling isn't interesting. The season ranks, fine, whatever. You can play it casually, more or less like I have, and still get through the whole season. And getting to max level is just there to get to max level.
I agree with everything except the build crafting. You need to build craft to pass the damn Grandmasters, right? I agree with that. You have to. You can't just go in there willy-nilly. You're going to get
same with the heroic lock fixtures, I think, as well.
Yeah, those are basically like the only two spots that I don't remember if he mentioned, but I can think about the only. I mean, because even yeah, it would certainly help going with the right weaponry. Yeah, going with a bit of resilience. You're not dying. Play smart, but there's no real necessarily build. Like you don't need to have this piece of armor or this particular spec.
No, it's not the armor.
maxed out.
It's the weapons. It's the weapon loadout and the perks. That's the build I'm talking about, right? So
Yeah.
the resilience doesn't matter because you can have max resilience and you're still getting one shot in the Grandmasters by red bars, right? So that's irrelevant. So what you need to do now is you need to find a way to kill them before they can one shot you, right? So just as an example, right? There are certain things that help out armor wise, right, through this nightfall because you can only have certain perks on certain elements, right? So that's one thing. But me, here I am. That's how I discovered to begin with the whole Warman thing, right? As is going to be like, I told you about it. Yeah, a lot of people have told me about it, but it wasn't until I started doing the Grandmaster Nightfalls I started playing around with stuff, and holy crap, this little ball of death clears the room, Yeah. It's like, wow, right? So, and then on top of that, if you're running like the ice subclass with, in my case, the freaking bombardiers, when you start to get rushed by all those thralls that'll one-shot you, I dodge backwards, which slows them so they can't attack me, and then I drop a bomb, killing all of them, right? So it's things like that you experiment with that allow you to get past these events. So the build crafting is very important. Don't knock that. But the replayability, I agree with. It's not worth it, man. You can just go into the 1260 and get the golf balls if that's what you want, I must have gotten like 28, 38 whenever we were doing it last week, just over and over and over again. It takes less time, it's less difficult, and overall in the same time frame, you're gonna get more golf balls from the 1260 than you are the Grandmaster.
I think the thing is I think the problem is Destiny 1. I remember like doing King's Fall Raid and doing it normal version. You still had to be at a reasonable power level, but to do it on the hard version where you didn't get revived or you got one revive token or whatever it was, I can't remember the specifics, but you had to have your gear at such a power level because it was really hard if you were going in there under level. At the moment, it sounds like the raids it doesn't really matter as long as you've got like to 1230. There's no real need, and I think that's what they need to address.
1250, 1230, you're still struggling.
You're struggling, but you could. It's doable. I mean, they said that with the contest mode that you can get to 1230, and that would be enough to struggle at doing like the last boss. But what I'm saying is they kind of need to listen to the community on that they've been asking for a contest mode in the raids and give them a reason why they want to switch on the contest mode, not just to have a challenge. There should be rewards for doing the contest mode and repeatedly doing the contest mode and bringing new people through the contest mode. Like, there's an emblem that tracks the amount of people that you've brought through this and various different things. And I think they need to look back at what they perfected or what they stumbled across in Destiny 1 and bring that into Destiny 2. Like with Peroty saying, the strike scoring, have there be a reason why there are strike scores? It contributes to something. There is an end goal at the end of the season. So say if you get past like 1 million in your strike scoring for that season, you get a package at the end of the season, which is 5 golf balls. And that is like gold dust to some players anyway. It would give some players a reason to persistently play the strikes and play with their teammates and so that they could get like an infusion box. It opens up and it just explodes like you do at the end of the strike. It explodes and gives you all the golf balls. And you're like, this is amazing. This is the reason why I've done my 3 strikes constantly each week for that season. There has to be little reasons, and it can't just be, it could just be emblems, shaders, sparrows, ships, whatever, as well, to say I've achieved this, like they did through the Dawning, like they've done through the different triumphs for Season of the Hunt. There's got to be more of everything, I think, because, well, I say that. In Dato's video, he was moaning, wasn't he? That there's so much to do and none of it matters.
Right.
But none of it matters. Yeah,
like,
that's accurate.
There needs to be a reason. Like, I am showered in loot. I'm not even doing end game activity. I'm just, go jump into a playlist and play it for an hour. You're going to end up showered in loot. 95% of it does not matter.
Yeah.
Give me a button that says, if it's a blue, get rid of it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to break it down. I don't want to be my postmaster. I don't want to have to go and sort it out. I don't want it. I don't need it. God knows I don't even need the materials from it. I'm not saying take the materials away, but I don't need the materials from it.
What does it even give you? It just gives you glimmer, right? Asking for a friend.
And I think a gunsmith material or something.
Gunsmith material, shards, depends on which one it is. Yeah,
I mean, gunsmith material. God knows we all need more of those.
I just want to go back to Dato's comment about so much to do and none of it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Really, does any of it matter?
Well,
Number one,
No, it's a video
it's
game.
a game. It's it's a video game.
I'm really glad we both sort of procced on the same thing. It's like, none of it matters. I'm like, it's a video game, sir. None of it matters. Nothing's going to change tomorrow whether I play Destiny or not.
Exactly. And that was my point. You may get an emblem, a triumph, a sparrow, a ghost, score, etc. But at the end of it, it means nothing really. It contributes nothing to the world. It doesn't solve climate change. It doesn't cure COVID.
Whoa, back up. It doesn't solve climate change?
To be honest,
what lies have I been sold, Bungie?
I think if anything, it actually accelerates climate change because all we're doing is putting up ice and then destroying that ice, much like in real life.
But it's just escapism, really, isn't it? It's a game to play for fun. Yeah. And I don't understand Dato's argument for there's so much to do and none of it matters. Because it's a game because it doesn't matter. It's not anything contributing to the real world. We play for escapism. We play just to have fun. I mean,
isn't it a good thing if there's a break, though? Let's break this down for a second, right? If there was important things to do and you had to play for you had to be there moments, right? And those you had to be there moments were all the time, right? All we would ever do is play this game. Now, don't get me wrong, that's good for Bungie, but for us in our personal lives, that's not great.
I do disagree with you on that because it is, you had to be there moments. Literally every week there is something happening in Destiny that if you don't log on and do something, you've missed out. So if you didn't log in over Christmas, you missed out on the dawning completely.
Yeah, but this week there's nothing. Right? What if there was something this week?
What do you mean nothing this week? There's a new mission this week.
Yeah, I mean, this week is Iron Banner and the new mission. Next week is going to be the increased infamy, which granted likely nobody cares about. There may be some other new thing to drop. There's always something going on. The nice thing is you can sort of be lazy like I am and ignore it for a couple of weeks and go, okay, I might as well get around to that.
Yeah. There are some things that can be left and you can just do everything in the end. And there are some weeks where there isn't anything. They don't put anything in the game because I think if they do everything every week, then there's like that fear of missing out each week.
But it's an exhausting treadmill.
Yeah, you don't want it to be an exhausting treadmill.
And that's what I'm talking about. You want to take a break.
Yeah.
You got to hunt your monsters.
Yeah, man. Well, no, because that's over now too until the one that's on the Switch comes out. Unfortunately, all of my monsters have been hunted. Sad face.
Monsters. You've hunted the monsters to extinction.
Accurate, actually. That's not a bad analogy.
Something else that Dato says in his video is that the game didn't evolve in any sort of meaningful way. And at the end of his video, he says that it needs to innovate. Now, am I wrong in saying that Stasis was innovating the game?
Absolutely. I mean, because in PvE, it's amazing.
And PvP. It's a complete revolution to the game. If we didn't have Stasis come into the game, we would have had the same game modes, the same gameplay, the same PvP gameplay, the same outcomes with the supers, because the supers haven't changed since they were implemented each one. So without Stasis coming into the game, it didn't evolve the game, and I feel that it's very innovative in the game because it's progressing the story because it's interwoven into the story. It's progressing our guardians as killing machines, and it's also then given people a view of, okay, well, these new subclasses are amazing. What can you do to improve those old subclasses? And Bungie have probably obviously got that in mind that they are going to do something with that.
Well, they already
And
said they would.
yeah, I think the frustration with some of the communities that it's not like they post out all their internal memos going, right, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I think that's the frustration, is that because people don't hear enough. I mean, the TWAB is amazing. The fact that the Bungie communicate each week to us what they're doing, what they're thinking, little snippets of what could possibly come is really nice. And they're one of only like a few companies that actually do that.
Yeah.
But I think the frustration is that the community want to hear everything. They want to hear every little thing that's going on. People are moaning about the Shatter Dive. They want to hear the fact that Bungie know the Shatter Dive needs to be nerfed or adjusted, or not even adjusted. They just want to hear something from Bungie. But because Bungie haven't said anything, you now get the frustration videos and people saying, this is this wrong, this is that wrong. And it really enrages me, because sometimes they don't deserve that.
Because, I mean, it's not just that, but people are complaining about the Shatter Dive because now hunters have a valid, useful weapon in our arsenal, right? No, it's not a whole W press melee like the Titan is, right? We still don't have anything that easy because it's multi-step. It is multi-step. You have to have a grenade.
Jump, and dive on any grenade.
You have to have, no, it's not any grenade.
You don't even need to jump, Peroty. You can throw the grenade at your feet as you get to somebody, and it throws you up in the air, remember? And you just push a button and it come back down.
Okay, well,
2 button pushes.
Okay, to be fair, you have to be in the air. I guess was my point. I forgot. Yes, you can.
You have to have a grenade, or somebody has to be frozen, not slowed, frozen.
Or you can be near somebody else's ice ball grenade. Air.
Those are 3 things that have to happen.
But it is a one-shot melee.
But it's got stipulations. It's not, you just have to have a freaking...
So does the Titan one. You have to have a melee.
You
which charges faster than a grenade. You don't have to be in the air.
You have to run flat out.
It has to be frozen.
You have to run flat out headfirst at someone without getting gunned down first. There's stipulations. You can't hide behind an ice.
You've already lost this argument because when I jumped on a Titan to show you how overpowered a Titan is compared to a hunter, it's ridiculous. I played as a Titan. You really do just have to hold W when you're approaching a corner, and then it's game over for whatever poor SOB is on the other side, dude. Stop trying to act like your stuff isn't as OP as it is. We've had this discussion. You have lost. Now, the Hunter Shatter Dive, you have to have a grenade. Somebody's got to be frozen, and you have to be in the air. That is way more than just hold W, have melee.
Now, there are certain things that a Hunter can do to get their grenade up every 20 seconds with stasis abilities, with mods.
And there are certain things Titans can do that they can just have melee forever.
It's called an exotic.
Yeah.
But and you have to be on a certain subclass.
Not really, because all your subclasses have potential.
No, it only works in one subclass.
Your throwing hammer, if you have that fire crap on level 3, will one shot, and you can pick it up.
But you can't wear the exotic with it.
Right, and that comes.
You don't even need the exotic for that one. That's what I'm saying. That's built into your solar class. But your throwing class has the throwing frisbee.
But that comes with the same stipulations as your Hunter Shatter Dive.
How?
There are stipulations to use. You have to have 3 stacks.
No, solar one is. You're right. The solar one is accurate. I'll give you that. Solar one, you do have to have stipulations. That one's not so bad. But your Void, have melee, throw frisbee. Right? Your Arc, have melee, hold W.
You can't throw the frisbee unless you're in a super. If you're in a super, that's not an anytime thing.
Okay. But you still have the opportunity in your Void to hold W, press melee for a super hit, right?
That would be a really interesting exotic. If you could have an exotic something that would give you the chance at throwing out one of those Void shields instead of a
So your Arc and your Void have a
you'd
whole
have a
W
ranged melee. That would be lovely.
Melee charge.
Yes, Bungie, put that in the game.
Your Solar has a throwing weapon that does have stipulations. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but you have 3 subclasses that all have one-shot potential. Hunters have 1.5. The throwing knife does have one-shot potential, but again, you have to. There are conditions that have to be met for that to be a thing.
I think this is an argument that we've argued time and time again. Other people,
but the
more
point is
intelligent
people
than
are
us
complaining
that have done the
about
numbers.
people are complaining about the shatter dive when it's got stipulations behind it, dude. It's not as
complaining
OP
about
as
the
it
shatter dives.
seems.
We
No, not
don't
you.
care.
People.
But honestly, Destiny Massive Breakdown, and they addressed this because they're like, yeah, we've seen lots of people, and their first point was, one, we don't really notice. Yes, it's in the game, but I think both of them were like, we've never been killed by it, maybe once or twice, because we know how to counter it. And two, their point was it was less the shatter dive itself as it was forgive me, I can't remember if it's fragment or artifact. I can't remember which is which. It's whichever one hunters use that give you that make the shatter dive more effective.
Okay.
They were saying once they were saying if you're going to do any changes, and they said I kind of agree. Shatter dive itself is fine, but if you're going to tweak anything, tweak that fragment or whatever just to make it a little less massive. But honestly, in all the Iron Banner we played, there was a lot of shatter diving. There was a lot of ice.
A lot of ice, yeah.
But honestly, the shatter I got killed by a shatter dive a couple of times, and every time I was like, I was in a bad position. I was real close to somebody. I tried to make a rush, and I should have retreated. Every single time when you again, after listening to their stasis PvP breakdown, I would start to look and listen and go, okay, can I identify when I'm going to get shatter dove? Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Sometimes, I got, mollywop from behind. I got ambushed by somebody. But it's something, if you're paying attention and playing against it, you can see it, you can counter it, or just get out of the way of it. Throw a grenade, run away, dodge and run away, turn tail.
The thing is, if you see that ice wall go up, move out of the way, jump back up in the air away from the damn thing to get away from it, because more or less, if there's an ice wall gone up, there's going to be a hunter on the other side, a titan on the other side, trying to do something that would shatter that to then destroy you. And yes, it does have a silly range of where it is, and the same with those dust field grenades. You throw those down, and the range on those things to suck you in is ridiculous. But
absolutely.
This is what happens every single time that Bungie put something new in the game. Every time that we had a new subclass added to the game, there was always adjustments that needed to be done after the community played with it. And unfortunately, Stasis is a big one for this season and Beyond Light, because everybody wants to play with it. It is the new hotness, and we've always said it, and a lot of other people have always said it. The new hotness will get played to death because everybody wants to play with the new thing. And slowly over time, it will die out. And depending on whether Bungie bring up the other subclasses or nerf this one, sometimes contributes to whichever way it swings. But now I don't want to be judged, Respawn. I don't want any comments from you. Right?
That's when.
What? Say that again, because you cut out.
Something bad's coming.
Thank you.
Is he going robot for you?
Absolutely. Discord is doing its best to make sure Respawn doesn't speak by not letting us hear any more than bleeps and bloops. So go ahead and say what you're going to say. Respawn is being Discord muted.
Brilliant. So for the last week, well, the last couple of weeks actually, I've been playing exclusively on a hunter in PvP. And I was doing this one of two things. I was just testing out playing with Stasis on a hunter, doing shatter dives, and I was trying to get better at comp because I want to see if I can get to 5500. And what I found in comp, now I've reached 4000 in comp, and I haven't been killed by shatter dive once in my gameplay. And I'll play maybe 8 or 9 games that week, give myself a rest, play the next week. So I've done that for the last couple of weeks playing. And I've really enjoyed it. I've been doing Le Monarch with True Prophecy hand cannon, and that's the way I play. I play with the team. I stay back. I bow, wait for the team to get the pick, then we move and stuff like that. But when it's kind of close quarters with shotguns and things like that, I haven't seen other hunters. Now, I've seen a lot of other hunters. There's been hunters on both sides of the teams, and I've very rarely seen Warlocks or Titans, the odd 1 or 2, but it has mainly been hunters, 3 hunters versus 3 hunters on each team. And yes, we've all had Stasis as our subclass, as you can see in the thing at the top. But very rarely have I seen people get picks with the shatter dive. And I thought that was quite interesting because there were, like you were saying, Massive Breakdown were very. I think they're on the same kind of skill level as us, Peroty. Is that they weren't seeing it as prevalent as some of the other YouTubers and streamers were saying, which is why they were quitting Destiny, because they were saying it's so overpowered, it's everywhere, it's rife, Trials is full of it. And I think people at our skill level, even going up to 4,000 in comp, I haven't seen it as prevalent as some of the higher skill players. Which
it
is
only takes advantage of people in bad positioning. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's not overpowered, man. People are complaining about it, and it doesn't need to be nerfed. The perk that makes it have a wider range doesn't need to be nerfed because it only takes advantage of you if your positioning is crap.
Exactly, and that was Mercury's and Ketch's point. Is like if you're playing too aggressive, the Hunter's going to kill you with a Shadow Dive. If you're playing too far back, the Titan's going to kill you with the other ice effects. And again, the Warlock has just the Warlock.
Hold on, if you're playing too far back, the Titan's going to kill you. Break that down for me.
Because of the amount of the speed where the Titan on that subclass can close on you.
Okay.
With the sliding, yeah.
Cryo, I can close on you with a Fellwinter's Lie and shotgun you, slide shotgun you from halfway across the map. It feels like.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where their point is. Like if you're too aggressive or too passive, obviously if you're way at the back of the map with a scout rifle, you're fine as far as this goes. They're basically, if you're playing one of these two things out of position, you're going to get killed by one of these two things, and in there are ways to counter them. And it's not it's people running in and being out of position. That's why you're getting murdered all the time. It's not because it's overpowered. It's you've done a dumb thing. I know when I put a sweet business on the map, I'm probably gonna get murdered by every guy with a hand cannon. They're going to outplay me. I understand that. If you do a dumb thing and you get murdered for it, you can't be mad that you did a dumb thing and got murdered for
it. You did an oopsie, bro. That's your fault.
I mean, I can agree with Datto where he says that PvP does need, and I think a lot of other people like Fallout and that were saying that Crucible does need new maps. And the strike playlist needs new strikes. It needs something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're having and that was sort of Data's main point is strikes haven't changed in forever. There's no reason to play them, and we haven't gotten a new Crucible map in whatever. There's as far as keeping, innovating, keeping that content fresh, you aren't. There isn't. Again, Fallout invoked Destiny Lab or Crucible Labs, which apparently everyone at Bungie forgot existed. I mean, it's like yeah.
But no, okay, so while we're on the topic, right, somebody brought it up and we need to address it, right? Because we've had this discussion before, and I guess they're a new listener or whatever, and they didn't get to hear it. But about the different game modes in Crucible, right? We've beaten this horse so many different times for so many ideas, and one of them was a no super game mode, right? Pretty Call of Duty-ish,
Wasn't
people
it
like
called momentum control.
No, because you can still have a super momentum control. It just doesn't do much, right?
Yeah, that was essentially. Yeah, I was just saying the same thing. I was basically, you had a super, but the risk reward of using it was much.
We're talking about you don't have the option of supers at all. It's straight gunplay. Maybe no grenades either. Like just your skill with guns is all that matters. No grenades, no rifts, no special abilities. Just how good are you with whatever guns you have, right? That's it. That's all you got. Like okay, you guys like talking about Halo, right? I didn't play it much, but I did watch my brother play it, and there was like a game mode where you can only have shotguns, or you can only have this massive hammer thing. I don't know, right? You had game modes where you could only have X, right? Why not bring something like that here? Hey, here's a game mode where you only have weapons. More specifically, here's a new one where you can only bring your shotguns in, or you can only bring in your snipers. Maybe call it, headshot warfare or something. I don't know. Get creative. The point
I think the problem is that Bungie are on the fear of if they put too much time and resources in developing this new mode, because it is going to take time and resources, they then have to implement it into the game, or they put Crucible Labs back in the game and let people test it. That if they put these modes back in the game, they're then splitting the player base for the modes they don't kind of reduce down to get more people into. I mean, look at what they did. They reduced the game modes down, and they took out the I can't remember what it was, this player skill part of it, the matching you up against people of the similar skill, again, because the top tier players were moaning that they were spending hours in queues waiting for people. So they thought, we'll just take all of that out and it's connection based now. So they've reduced it down to get more people in those playlists. But the problem is, if they then start fracturing those playlists with, you can do this game mode, you can do this game mode, you can do this game mode, I think the fear is that they're then going to not have enough people in those playlists. So they're going to be back to the drawing board of, well, how do we get people in those playlists? Because we've now got people moaning that they're waiting 10 minutes to get into a match. I think it's a double-edged sword for them, because there's that fear of, we can't put the time, effort, and resources into this to develop this for it to fail.
Which is why they need
to bring connection-based matchmaking to begin with, right? It should have been skill from the get-go, right? So, do I understand what you're saying? Absolutely, but I don't think it should have even been a factor to begin with. It should have always been skill-based matchmaking, because connection-based matchmaking just, Peroty and Pan, for example. One's got all the, I think it's Pan, right? One's got all the speed, but none of the bandwidth, and the other one is the opposite, right? Well, I mean,
up until recently, now he has all the both.
Okay, but okay, so you're some kid in
right, and that's going to be the problem.
Speed, but you're not very good at the game, and you're constantly getting matched up against YouTubers, because you have a high speed, and they most likely have a high speed. Right? So congratulations, kid who just wants to enjoy the game. You're never going to win a match ever.
That was my suggestion, was the Action Sack playlist in Halo. It was basically a collection of all of those weird game modes. Run around with a sword, run around with a shotgun and a super, or a shotgun and a sniper. Every time you respawn, you load them with a different set of weapons. I would love to see something like that, where it doesn't have to be, you don't have to bring in 16 game modes. Just say, here's Crucible Labs. We're going to build it up. Here's, week 1, it's this. And then maybe, you can do what you did with, what did they, I'm trying to remember, was it Gambit Prime when they brought the new maps to Prime? Or it was like the first week it's all this, the second week it's all that, the third week it's all this, and then it rotates from there on out. I would love to see, bring me back Crucible Labs. Week 1, Crucible Labs, it's all shotguns and snipers. That's what it is week 1. Week 2, it's melees only, or melee weapons only, swords, and that's it. Week 3, it's Sparrow Racing League. Week 4, those 3 rotate, and then they add things to it, and just see what people play. Use that like Lab should be. Say, we're going to throw some things in here. Let's see where the player base goes, or give us the ability to vote periodically. Say, hey, go to the tower kiosk and say, if you've played these modes, which did you play? And, which did you enjoy? And get, some sort of real-time feedback like that. And, do something like that. Give us, you don't have to spend all the time building it. And again, obviously, time and development efforts to make these things. I get that. These aren't free to just hit a button and say, make in-game. But, to start, at least have a small team and say, throw it against the wall. And put it up there. This could be buggy. This could be weird. You could have weird problems. These aren't competitive modes.
Nah, bring back the game mode where you can decide what you want to do. Take it out of Bungie's hands entirely. You want to do a match in PvP. Hey, I'm going to set it to shotguns only. Hey, we're going to pick this map. Hey, we're going to have this many people on each team.
Yeah, but you can do that.
And
you can do that in private matches if you really, 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 really wanted to.
Right. Well, that's private matches. If you have
but you can make them public.
Do that.
I mean, you could as a person make it public, right? And then hold on. Bungie would just have to make a server full of all these different game modes, and whenever we go into Crucible, there's going to be one icon that says, player made playlist or whatever, right? You go in there and you see one that's like Mike Myers. Holy crap! This is melee only. Let's go check this one out. Right? Bungie has provided a server for people to make their own game modes, and you can go there and play
Mike
on their
Myers
map
the comedian,
without having
or
to
Mike Myers the mass murderer.
Both.
Yes.
Other people as the comedian.
Yeah. But once again, me and Peroty on the same page.
I think what they could have done with Crucible, going along with the story elements of that Zavala doesn't want you to use stasis, they could have done normal Crucible is only light-based subclasses. But when Saladin comes along, you can use stasis as well, and that maybe that way
Zavala's got no say in it. You really think Shaxx is going to be like, "Oh, guys, no, you can't use stasis"?
No,
Get
but just going along with the storyline of
no, there's no way.
I forbid you to play with stasis.
Storyline, there's no way Shaxx would let that happen.
But I'm just
Storyline
saying-
based, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
mean-
Shaxx himself would jump in and be like, "You're out of your damn mind. This is my crucible. You get no say in this." You know?
Right. But I mean, reasoning aside, that would be an interesting thing. It would be interesting to say, yeah, like in this mode, you're fighting for, or have it be a, put some sort of community challenge and say, okay, this, the darkness is taking over. We need to fight back with light. Go play activities with light, modes this week. Don't say, it has to be void, solar, arc. Say, go play a light-based mode, or go in here. Hey, there's an imbalance in the light. Go into strikes this week with your stasis subclass on. We need to, balance things out. So, there's no stakes. It's just silly, but sort of give people a reason. Give them, if you're going, I've got 2 hours to jump in and play. What can I go do?
Yeah.
Okay. And throw stasis on. I can jump into Gambit and I balance the force or whatever. And maybe and maybe there's some sort of.
All right, there, Lucas.
Well, I mean, you have this whole light and dark based dynamic, but again, while the story gets more interesting narratively, in game it's kind of like, yeah, but who cares? Yeah, I went and killed this guy, and now you're gonna be a nice exposition about it, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate that there is actually a story, and that's one thing Dado credits. We do have a narrative now. There is a story we can kind of care about.
Yeah,
but in game it still is. Yeah, while you're playing that mission and watching that cutscene, yeah, but day to day, it's like, oh. I don't know what's going on. Tower looks the same to me.
I think one of the biggest complaints about D1 was the content drought. Now, maybe the constant, we want new stuff every 3 months isn't helping some players, because like Datto, maybe we should go back to 2 to 3 expansions a year, because yes, there was a big content drought in between things, but it seemed to be
most of the time. Not
people seem to be very nostalgic about how Destiny 1 was now, saying that that was better because you got, like Datto was calling for, something that was evolving, something that had something of meaning.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with content breaks. There's more than one game in people's lives, right? Especially if you're on PC.
Lies.
Look at some people's Steam
Lies,
libraries.
yes.
I guarantee more than just Destiny is in there. Promise you. Like, for example, during this drought, I've had the chance to play a game that I bought when it first came out, Metro Exodus, right? I just played the game because I've had the time to do it. Now that Destiny's taken a break and all the monsters have been hunted, now I get to explore some other things that I have in my library, right? A content drought isn't necessarily a bad thing if it goes on too long, if the game doesn't have any changes for, I don't know, a year. Yeah, okay. It's not great. But, I mean, every now and again, it's not a bad thing. And these YouTubers are making it out to be a bad thing because, yes, it is their money, but play a different game. Whatever.
But then the problem is that I think they're finding with their YouTubes and their streams is that people want to see them play Destiny. That's why they tune into them.
Okay.
But the problem is that they are the ones that are getting sick of Destiny. They don't want to play Destiny. They want to go off and play other things. But as soon as they start doing that, they start losing viewership. And I think that's where they're on that double-edged sword, is that they can't bring themselves to play Destiny.
I'm sorry, that's the career path you've
much.
chosen, bro. And?
But that's why they're calling for that. They need new stuff. They need stuff that it will keep them going, keep them wanting
make your
to
channel
play
a
the game
variety
over and
channel and pull more people in that like watching you play other games,
Yeah. And that's always going to be the problem. I mean, between the I'm playing this game 80 hours a week to I'm playing this game an hour a week.
Yeah.
Can't make both those ends of the spectrum happy. It's never going to happen.
No.
And, you're going to get the content at the rate it comes out. Bungie's not going to make new things every single week. They can't. They've proven that's unsustainable. It's not going to happen.
And then they don't have to put out as many videos either. Like Hush doesn't put out that many videos, and he does fairly well for himself. I quite enjoy Hush.
He's just quit Destiny.
He
I know.
him too.
But,
So
But the point is like, you know, when he was doing videos, Hush would put one out once a week, or once every 2 weeks, or once, you know, however long. And I'd look forward to it. I'm like, holy crap, he's got a new video. I'm going to go watch it, right? But that same time, when he did that 1 week where he did a video every single day, I'm just like, and I know this is anecdotal. I know, but it's just like, you know, I have other things to do. If you put it out once a week, cool. I can watch you when I have time, but
I think some of the issues lie with these content creators want to create a job role for themselves. They want to get money for doing their YouTubes. They want to get money for doing streams, and the only way they can do that is with the viewerships and the numbers coming in. And if they start to not want to play that content, that's going to then affect them. Unlike us, we are regular people with normal jobs that do this as a hobby, this podcast. And I think the same with, like, you could probably say the same with Paul Tassi, who writes for Forbes, has a regular day job, but does podcasts, does YouTube in his spare time, maybe to make extra money. I think that's
he enjoys. I mean, catch him Hercules. They're guys that work jobs that happen to also really enjoy the game and talk about it. And they're. And I really, and again, I don't mean to have this be the massive breakdown podcast week, but you can tell what I've listened to this weekend.
Yeah.
Say.
They're, well, and I listen to them because I appreciate their take. As people that have jobs and lives, they're not playing the game 80 hours a week. They haven't done everything. They're like, I go in, I play what I want, I ignore the rest of it, and move on with life. And when you're not trying to fill, 8 hours a day, 3 days a week, 4 days, 5 days a week, when you're not doing trials carries for 36 straight hours, your perspective on the game is very different. And that's why we look up to these content creators who have done, that's why we follow Glad and go, that's crazy. Look at all the things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, it's like watching professional sports. Wow, that's cool. Yes, I could get on a basketball court and I could do things, or I could, hit a baseball and whatever, but I can't do the things you can do because you've spent the time and effort to do it. Just like Destiny, theoretically, I could go do these things if I spent the hours and hours and hours to do it. It's like watching these.
That's a good thing that you just pointed out. It's the same as professional sports, really. That there is that 1 or 2 cups at the end of that they can get, the trophies, the medals that they can get, but they are the same thing year in, year out. That person, that team can win. There's no innovation. There's no. It is literally the same game over and over again, and I think that's what maybe the content creators are missing out on. And we've said it a couple of times
as a content creator, right? Why don't you, as a content creator,
I know you were going to say,
make your own content, right? As an example, based on what you're saying, right? You're talking about the World Cup at the end of the year or whatever. Hey, all you content creators, especially all you PvP guys, set up your own brackets, make your own teams. Make your own esports on YouTube. If you're running out of content, do something about it, right? Have Team Datto go against Team or Team Canada go against Team America. Team America go against Team, Australia. Whatever, right? Make your own content. Make your own cups. Dude. I mean, PvP is still there.
The same thing with the PvE guys, like Glad and Datto saying that, we're bored, we want stuff to do. There are other people like us that don't, excluding Respawn, that don't get to do the raids. There are thousands of people out there on LFGs looking to do raids. Now, if Datto started up a stream and said, right, I want people to come and join, I will teach you, we'll go through the raid. If it takes all day to get 6 people through the raid and we do it, that is content worth watching, people coming and seeing each week and each day. We've said it time and time again, take people through trials. Do something that you are bored at, but you could pass on the knowledge to other people and have them enjoy the game further. I think that's something that they do miss out on. And I know this sounds more of an attack on some of the YouTubers and streamers this week, but we're not fed up with the game. Respawn plays the game in moderation. He goes off and plays other games. Peroty and I play the game in moderation. It is my only game. There are many games on my Xbox, but this is the game that I play. This is the one that I
it's the only one the wife lets him play.
No, she lets him play other things. Just like I've installed the Halo Master Chief Collection because my wife's sister just got an Xbox One and she's like, we should play Halo. You're right, we should, because Split screen is a thing. Speaking of which, they took split screen out of Halo 5, which is sacrilege. But anyway,
They took split screen out of everything.
yeah, but Halo made split screen a thing. The number of hours I have spent in college and afterwards playing split screen Halo, either campaign, deathmatch, whatever, with people is beautiful. The fact that you can get 4 people on one Xbox on one TV is a beautiful thing. And the fact that it is so hard to find things for 2 people to play on one Xbox, even when there's no reason, it seems like technically you shouldn't be able to do this because you're looking at the same screen, and the number of games that you're like, you have a squad of 6 guys. Are any of them playable? No, they're all AI, but there are other people there. No, it's a single player experience, but there's a whole team there. No, it's a single player experience, and you will play it this way.
Yeah. So you talking about split screen? While I was way back in the Marine Corps, dude. Again, I was never a Halo player, but I came into the rec room one day, and that's the only place in our area, right, that had a big screen TV. And I came in one day, and I saw a bunch of guys playing Halo, right? But they took a box. They ripped the box into 4 pieces, and they separated the screen with this box so they couldn't screen peek each other, dude. So they made 4 screen split screen with this big ass cardboard separator, and you had 2 guys sitting down on the floor looking at their screens at an angle, right? So it wasn't like straight on, it was angled out. And then 2 guys standing looking at their screens, again, angled out, so nobody could screen watch each other. And I thought, that is taking it way too far. That's ridiculous, dude.
That's beautiful.
And I think to Bungie's credit, each season they do try and do different things. You know, sometimes it's variations on other things that they have done. Like this season, we've got with the lures that you can insert them and try and change them to get specific roles on armor and weapons. And that was a variation of last season's engram thing that the Drifter had. And we've seen variations and iterations and changes, you know, slight. But I think they're trying to find something that they can do that the community would engage with and, you know, really enjoy doing time and time again. It's something that's sustainable, really.
Yeah,
agreed. I mean, and I think that's what Dado and others have said is the match made 6-player activities are really popular and really fun and very replayable.
You say that, but then 3 months into a 6-player made activity like the Menagerie, and Dato's moaning that, you know, there's new iteration, there's no changing and things like that. So
sad for Dado. I still never made it through one of those, you know, one of the hard ones really to get whatever it was. There's tons of things that most people have never gotten through, and it's fine. And I'm happy that they've taken some of that out of the game where it isn't just there forever lingering going, you could play this, but you're never going to because you don't have a team of 6 with you. I really enjoy the match-made activities that are not super hard end game. You must be a team. I want to go in, load in with 5 other random yahoos, run around, and go do a thing. That's all I really want. That's more or less what Iron Banner is when I'm not playing with anyone. I'm loading with 5 other random yahoos, going, "Hey guys, if you capture the zones, you get a lot of super out of that, and you can hopefully win." No, you're gonna run over there. Oh, okay, you do that then.
I think the thing is with the Dato video, it is just more of his thoughts, and like he said, it's just a copy and paste of his thoughts from last year. So he hasn't kind of moved on himself in thinking of what Bungie. I mean, he does mention that Bungie have had to kind of deal with separating from Activision and going it alone, then COVID and trying to set up at home and working from home, and what they've done really well from home. But you know, it is just mainly a thoughts video. There isn't any kind of solutions. He's not throwing any solutions into the mix of saying, "What do you think about this? I think that, you know, this would be a good thing." And then you've got the same with Fallout. I mean, Fallout has a good video discussing issues in PvP, and he doesn't just focus on stasis, which was nice. You know, there's the non-attainable weapons in the meta, like the Fellwinter's Lie shotgun, the True Prophecy hand cannon, which have been addressed by Bungie, and some are coming back, some are not. The Trials Adept weapons, you know, nothing to chase in PvP this season, no powerful or pinnacles, and nothing in comp. It's a looter shooter, but there's no loot. But I don't play comp and I don't play PvP for the loot specifically. I play it because I just want to go and shoot people and have a bit of fun and match my skill against their skill and see who can come out better. Yes, it'd be nice if there was more rewarding loot in there. I mean, I do get loot to drop, and I look at it every now and then. So, oh yeah, I could keep that gun. That's a really good thing. Or I could keep that armor piece. That's a really good high stat armor piece. And I agree. Yes, for some of the higher tier players, that they need that loot to keep them playing. But for general PvP, and I don't know if you guys feel the same, you go in, you shoot them lads, and you just have fun. That's what it's there for. Well, you probably don't have fun.
Yeah.
Peroty and I have fun though.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly how I play it. I mean, I made a couple of clips, I think yesterday I'm slowly working through getting my adored sniper rifle kills in PvP, and I get maybe 1 a match, 2 if I'm lucky. And yeah, like I got a couple of really nice, like, peeked the door, got him in 1 shot. I was like, oh, that's fun. Like, it's those little moments, those little dopamine hits. Like, ooh, like I was able to roll around a corner with a sweet business and see 3 guys hard scoping the other way, picked them all off before they knew what happened. It's Bungie talks about those hero moments, but which those are not in any stretch of the word. But it's those little.
You were the hero for the moment for that team,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just sort of those little dopamine. Oh, I did a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, is it anything amazing? No. Am I going to go brag about it? Absolutely not. But it's just one of those little oh, that was fun. Ooh, that was
He
neat.
says as he's bragging about it on the podcast.
Oh, and there's also those moments of I slid in. I decided to. I walked into a Titan bubble, which you should never do. A guy put a Titan bubble up, and I just danced outside of it. He danced inside of it. Beautiful little moment. I got murdered by some guy on the team behind me, but it just it's having those little fun moments in the game where it's a game. It doesn't matter. We win, we lose. I'm about a 50% Crucible player, give or take. Win-loss wise, and that's where I'm going to stick because I'm not that great and I'm not terrible. And some days I get 20 kills and some days I get 2 kills, and I don't care. It's a game. Like there's no point of pride around anything. Yeah, I like to look at my numbers, but it's not like it's how I value myself as a human being. I jump in, have fun, and if I'm not having fun, I go do another activity, which is why we don't do strikes.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but Halo, I'm only thinking of like Halo 3 was the last time I kind of played PvP, but there was no real rewards. There was no loot dropping. I know Destiny's a looter shooter, but in that, people just played PvP to play PvP, to shoot the lads. And I think maybe there was something like the Hayabusa helmets and various different iterations of helmet the higher up you got. But it was literally maybe like 10 rewards. And once you got that, that was it. But if you saw a player on the opposite team with that, you know that they just constantly played the game over and over again. And I think that's the problem, is that a lot of PvP players want more and more to chase, otherwise they're not going to play it. Whereas some of us are just quite happy to go and play PvP because that's what it is.
Yeah, and honestly, I can't remember back that far, but honestly, most of the time I spent playing PvP in Halo was in a mode called Big Team Battle.
Yeah,
which was like 9v9 or something, and it was basically jump into a warthog with Pan and some buddies and race into battle. We'll probably get sniped or blown up by a rocket. Who cares? It was fun. Like it was big enough. It was sort of like Mayhem in that it's big and it's hectic, and you can't. Yeah, there's some level of skill, but there's so much going on, and there's so many people. You're not going to go and if one guy is really, really good, it sort of doesn't matter because there's enough other people that are going to find that one really, really good guy. It almost balances itself out. And I enjoyed just the sort of the chaos of that, where you're not at the mercy of the one, where it is now, where you get one guy who goes 28-0 and his team's going to win. Doesn't matter who the other 11 people are, his team's going to win.
Yeah. And I think Patacakes Gaming put out a really good video in the last week, which all these things that we're talking about, the Datto videos, the massive breakdown, there was an Asacross one as well that he mentioned something about, Bungie aren't listening. But Patacakes Gaming put out a really good video on stasis in PvP and how maybe to balance it, and he had some really good ideas in that video. And I was thinking, I can see the view from players that are good that maybe have issues with it, like the top tier players that are seeing it constantly, and why that maybe needs to be tuned. But for me as a player, it's there and it's just fun to play with.
Okay, well, that's.
So should we move on to some of our feedback and get out of here?
Yep.
Yes. So you were asking earlier, Respawn, weren't you, for anybody on Xbox to partner up with to do some raids?
Uh-huh.
And Drew has got in touch to say if you guys ever need extra raid partner on Xbox, he'd be happy to help. And his gamer tag is Poop3127. So that's for you, Respawn, because you need raid help
Okay.
or hindrance. I can't remember which one. One of the two.
Where was that one at? I remember reading that earlier, but it's like I'm playing. I'm on my computer now instead of my phone, so everything's all tiny.
Oh, never mind.
Has his no.
Wait.
I'm looking for him because there's somebody that has a Steam name too that I have to keep an eye open for.
Doesn't your phone have a smaller screen than your computer? You know, you can reset the size of things on
Yeah,
the computer.
My phone is right in
Don't-
front of me. My
don't tell him
computer
so.
is really. You guys haven't seen my new setup, but my screens are pretty far away now.
Yes.
Sounds like a poor choice.
Yeah, well,
Yes, and Drew, we do acknowledge that Respawn and I were out with our guessing on one of the podcasts for how long Aldrin has lived for, or Aldrin and Mara's age. But Not Arf would like to let you know that he knows how old they were. It's just us two were incompetent. So yeah, thank you for getting in touch with us on Podbean for that.
they also weren't billions of years old either. They were millennia.
Stop the arguing.
What?
Stop the arguing.
No.
Because he'll get back in touch with you and he'll tell you how
No,
wrong you
it's
are.
not me.
Don't
It's
argue with the viewers.
Arf said they're millennia old, not billions of years old. That's straight from Arf.
Right.
Arf.
You two, you three are starting something up. Drew, I'm not in the middle of this. Take it up with them.
Okay. So, are you starting from the bottom up or the top down?
Top. So I'm going to Ellis Rogers next.
We started from the bottom, but now we're here.
Oh, we had stuff further up. I forgot about that because I was starting on Ellis Rogers. I forgot that we had stuff higher up. My bad. Okay, fair enough.
So thank you for getting in touch with us, Ellis, regarding episode 100. Yes, it was lovely to have the kids on the show. For the listeners, maybe not for us.
I was just saying, was it for you guys? It was
It was
lovely.
frankly-
I had a great time. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'm glad people enjoyed it.
My kid went and told his mom, "Dad forced me to do it, or he wasn't going to give me the computer." I'm like, "Did you actually tell her that?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like,
Okay,
Why would
follow up
you say
question. Did you actually tell him that?
I mean, I say I'm going to drop kick him from the top of his dresser too. Everything that comes out of my mouth, unless I'm disciplining him, should be considered as a joke because that's how I am, right? But of all the things that I've said, of all the things I've threatened him with, that is the one thing that he thought I was serious about.
Because that's the one
Well,
thing he
yeah,
has
you're
to
taking
care
away his
about.
computer.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of your threats are hollow, and he cares not for them. So
That was a hollow one too.
It's the same with Phoenix, and I know you're listening, Phoenix, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yes, I do give you extra screen time for helping me out on the podcast.
Yep.
Your mother doesn't know about it yet, but she probably will do when you squeal.
And and after he did the podcast, he goes, "That wasn't so bad." I'm like, "That's what I was trying to tell you."
it isn't so bad. I just have to talk to strange Americans and British people. That's all right.
So, kids, thank you. Show made things happen. Amazing people. We deserve. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and following Sandenberg, he asked about our, Crucible and States and
No, y'all are skipping over things. Let's give Ellis Rogers his due time, okay? He says, "You guys, episode 100 was really beautiful. For that, we thank you." All right? I just wanted to say thank you. Your show has made so much of an impact on my life, and not just because I'm addicted to Destiny. Respawn really does make your show better, and no, I didn't put that in. He wrote it.
He really did.
Not to say that.
Or I put that in
and
just
Demon.
because I knew you were going to read it.
Mm-hmm. Not to say that Peroty and Demon make the show bad. That is not the case. You guys are amazing people, and you deserve every good thing that comes your way. Cade would be proud of you guys. Well,
Look, at the end of the day, thanks to clever editing by myself and Parody's listening, we make Respawn sound great.
yeah, Respawn is great. Don't listen to him. He edits half my stuff out. All right, y'all would love me even more if he just left everything in. Trust me, believe.
No.
Yep.
Sounds like we need to set up a non-edited Patreon that people can pay for, and then immediately hang and go, why did
Immediately leave it. Yeah.
why did I give you money for this? Can I give you money for the edited one? That's how we'll do it. We'll do the Patreon and get the edited version.
It's a reverse Patreon. We give them what they don't want. Oh, we give them what they don't want until they pay us to give them what they do want. Yeah. Cade would be proud of you guys. I think I speak for everyone when I say that we miss him. Yes, I do. But like Eva Levante says, the dawning is about celebrating each other and remembering those we've lost. Or something like that. Merry Christmas to you guys and a Happy New Year, Ellis Rogers. Same to you, bud. Okay, here we go. We already addressed this guy. Colin Stanton was the one that brought up the whole the game mode with no supers.
Yep, yeah. We're good on Twitter, which we've
Yep.
already beaten to death in the last 2 hours.
But we never called out who it was, but that's who it was. Colin Stanton, a.k.a. at the Bergen. So thanks for that.
Now you're back on Ellis, so give Ellis some more.
Back
time.
on Ellis again. Happy New Year! Just wanted to say thank you for answering a few of my questions these last few episodes. I know I sent a lot of reviews. Keep sending them, bud. I'm going to send one more. No more, no less. This is cheesy, but it's true. There are not enough stars in the sky to give a full review. Respawn. I would really like to get in the show with you guys. Would you please send me a link to the Discord? Yes, I would, but unfortunately, I am not the guy who gets to decide that. Demon and Peroty have yelled at me for inviting too many people too often, so they've taken that privilege away.
No, nobody's taking anything away from you. You just
correct. You have all the privileges.
They just yell at me. So
no one has revoked privileges yet.
I can't remember what you main. Let us know what you main and what topic,
because that's a big decision.
Yes,
and Respawn will decide if he likes you or not.
It is, yeah.
Right.
Because if you play a Titan, then I may
look. If he's relating to you, he's obviously a hunter. So
that's not true. I have a lot of Titan fans out there. Thank you very much, and Warlock fans. Booyah! Moving on.
There are no Warlocks.
I have many Titan fans, but it doesn't mean I'm a fan of Titans. Get it right. Narcissistic much? No. Why would you say that? Okay. Anyway. Yeah. No. Let us know what you main. Let us know what kind of topic you have in mind, and then we can see what works out. But apparently, I do have to start at least screening people before I bring them on the show because people get mad at me. So there's that. Thanks for the amazing show. 2021 can't be any worse than 2020. I live in the west of the USA. Viruses, fires, and snow. Oh my. Hope you enjoyed your Christmas. Mine consisted of traveling and going through those same 10 episodes over and over and over again. May your light be merry and bright, Ellis Rogers.
So were the first 90 not good enough for him?
Right.
Or is that just what downloaded before he left?
That's possible. That is very possible. Let's rock again. Here we go.
Thank you for writing and thank you for continuing to write. And yes, really, yeah, we'd love to have people on the show, but just please have a decent mic and a quiet place to record. If you do, we love you, but we love for our listeners to also be able to hear and understand you. So yeah.
And I'm the one that gets to interrupt. Okay. With the exception being Phoenix, because Phoenix is my protege. Don't tell his dad. Alex Rogers, Happy New Year, you guys. I think I can speak for everyone to say 2020 sucked, but I'm glad we can put that behind us. I have a question or two for you that I hope you have answers to. First off, are the rewards from Lord Salad Bowl's quest worth getting in the quest? I'm not a very big PvP fan, but I've heard the Iron Banana is really good. Question mark?
I think we've answered that one.
Yeah, okay.
That's an answer, but to answer again, for the light level increase, yes, it's worth it because it's all higher light level drops.
And if you're new to Destiny, it's also worth it.
Agreed.
Also, and you can theoretically get good rolls on the weapons, but don't count on it. Also, I'm just now getting into raiding. I know a good deal of raids went away, but what raid do you recommend trying first? I'd say the first one probably the easiest. Yeah, Deepstone Crypt. Yeah.
Deepstone Crypt is not terrible in terms of mechanics and whatnot. So yeah, it's if the Frozen Xbox clan can go in there and more or less find success muddling our way through it, pretty much anybody can. And as we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of really good guides out there for how to do it. It's not the same as doing it, but at least it's the mechanics are fairly easy to understand and repeatable and build on themselves. So it's not like you're loading brand new things each
And not
time.
just that, but if you think about it, Deepstone Crypt has mechanics from other raids. You have buff swapping, which is a mechanic heavy in freaking Crown of Sorrow, right?
Just you've done other raids,
Right. I mean, yeah. Okay. So a lot of the mechanics in Deepstone Crypt correlate to mechanics that are in other raids. So yeah, that's a good one to start. Plus, it's not too difficult to teach and or learn. So, all right. Love you and your show. Love these last few lore shows, and wish you all the best in 2021. Can't get much worse than 2020. Knocking on wood as I write this. May good fortune come your way, Ellis Rogers. Is this the next one? Yeah. Okay. This one is from Levy Jocelyn. Hello, y'all. I like your podcast. My favorite one of y'all is Respawn. Again, I didn't put it in there. I would like to ask, maybe be Steam friends? I play Destiny 2, and my player name is Jirokron. Yeah.
Okay, lost your accent halfway through there.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time and patience. If you're reading this, I'm sorry this is rushed. Who is you? Which one of y'all replied to him?
I did.
Okay. Oh, Demon. That's at the bottom. Yeah, Demon already replied to you. I'm opening up my Steam currently to go ahead and shoot you that request, because if I don't do it now, I will forget.
Never happen.
On brand.
Yep. All right. So here we go. Last one. Colin Stanton. Gentlemen. This guy clearly does not listen to the show. Hope your holidays were safe and well. In my time off for the holidays, I did a very dangerous thing and allowed myself to brainstorm about things I would like to see introduced inside of Destiny.
Uh-oh.
Oh. When it comes to random rolled weapons, I spent close to 20,000 gunsmith materials trying to get a specific weapon with certain rolls, and it did not end well.
Oh, you poor man.
To be fair, 20,000
the,
only gives him 200 drops.
I have had the same thought because I've got about 30,000 in my vault, and I've had the thought of, should I give them to the gunsmith? No, it turned out, no, I should not.
No, I would wait until the season when they start adding some more of the other roles back into it. That's what I'm hanging on to mine for.
What are you hanging on to yours for?
Well, they're going to add more loot into the loot pool, which means that Banshee will get more loot in his loot pool. So when they start introducing some of the newer weapons or older weapons remastered into the loot pool again, and I want to get a certain roll on certain weapons that are good, and then I can use all my tokens. But at the moment, I've got some of the guns that I really like, and I'm quite happy with them.
Oh, apparently he and I are already friends. I guess he reached out to me already. Ha! What'd you?
So Colin goes on to say, with the Cryptolith lore, you're able to partially decide on what rolls certain weapons will drop with. I think it'd be nice to have some sort of system to either reroll already claimed weapons or expand on the lore design to allow a wider selection of weapons. You can focus on certain perks to attempt to either get a god roll or at least perks you'll want to use. Thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, hard to agree. I think we could have talked about that in relation to Iron Banner, but yeah, I think we're all really liking that system of giving you some control, either pick up bounty, receive a specific gun, a la from Varix, or at least, don't give me these two rolls, guarantee me one of these rolls. Yeah, having some Destiny in the RNG.
Well, in Destiny 1, we had the gunsmith do weapon testing where you could get weapons from him and earn tokens to get specific rolls that he would bring each week, and it would be a different roll each week. You could hang on to your token for, say, a pulse rifle until he brought the god roll that week, and then you could get that. You could also go to the gunsmith to re-roll weapons that you've currently got that you wanted to see if you can get good perks on. So you could re-roll your Fellwinter's Lie to get certain perks rather than the set ones that are there at the moment. And it was really, really hard RNG. You got X amount of tokens that you got X amount of stuff that you could use to then re-roll that weapon, but you weren't getting an abundance of those re-rolled items. So you could maybe re-roll your Fellwinters like 10 times before you ran out of the things to then go and have to play game modes to get the things back. But it was worth you doing it to see if you can get the god rolls. Not that you were going to be any better with the god rolls. I mean, I had a god roll Matador 64 shotgun. I had the Godroll Fellwinter's Lie. Didn't make me any a better player. Sometimes it helped, sometimes it didn't. But I think those little things that from Destiny 1 that they haven't brought across still need to be brought across.
Hardy agree.
Yeah, definitely. There was somewhere else we had some stuff, didn't we? Or is that it?
We did. And it's called Respawn's Report Roundup.
All right. Bungie help said a thing. This is the thing they said. We have resolved an issue with the companion and third-party apps. Users are no longer required to sign out and sign back in for content and features to work as intended. To resolve this issue, users should download the latest Destiny 2 companion app updates from the App Store and Google Play. Cool. All right.
So that resolved issues that folks in the clan were having with the app not working or not working well.
Right.
Yeah, because I was trying to track how many cookies that I still needed to deliver. I knew it was 120 that I needed to do in total, but it would only give me a percent when I logged in, and I wanted to know how many specifically. And the only place that I could find it was on the app. But then I found out that I could go onto Destiny Item Manager and have a look that way. But yeah, the app was down for quite a few days. It wasn't working properly.
So Joe Blackburn has something that's kind of crappy, but also kind of yay to say. Okay, so first thing he says, wanted to give a quick update on the cold front. The Dragonfly perk was not designed to work with kinetic weapons. You suck. And causes some technical errors. Because of this, in an upcoming patch, all cold fronts with the Dragonfly perk will have it replaced with the Swashbuckler. I hate you, Joe Blackburn, just for that. Okay, moving on.
At least it's going to be Swashbuckler, because I think the last time that they did that and replaced the perk, it was a random rolled perk for every single person. So some people got a really good perk. I think that's what happened in Destiny 1 when they had to take out a perk from... Was it shot package from one of the shotguns, like the Matador and the Fellwinters? They took out the shot package because it was too overpowered, and they replaced it with a random perk for everybody. So some people got an even better perk in that perk slot, and then other people just got the worst perk. So at least they're keeping it consistent across the board. You're all going to get one thing. And I know Aztecross was moaning about this in his video, saying that Bungie spent time doing this, but then they haven't spent time working out other things like the issues with stasis in Crucible. But I think things like this, there may be some underlying things, like you were saying, that there's a technical error. Maybe it's affecting something else that they couldn't do something, whereas the stasis is so ingrained in the game and so built in and baked into Beyond Light, for them to just go in and do this, and this would then kind of upset that and that and that. So again, it comes down to time, money, and resources, I think.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Easier to pick.
Anyway, sorry for the late breaking timing on this. This is also Joe Blackburn. We try to keep our winter holiday times sacred at Bungie. For those of you hungry for a fly perk on a legendary kinetic, and I say this so that you hear this, you might be interested in checking out the Vault of Glass when it comes to Destiny 2 this year. So, again, something about a fly perk, whether it be Dragonfly or... What was the other one? Firefly is definitely going to be...
Firefly is what we currently have.
Right.
But I think what they're going to do is bring back Dragonfly and make it more explosive.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, Dragonfly we had in the original ones, didn't we? In the original Vault Class had Dragonfly. So it would make sense that it was coming back. So, confirmed there, everybody who was wondering.
Yeah, because we work at Bungie.
Right? Well, no, he just said it.
No, he confirmed there's a fly perk, not a Dragonfly or Firefly.
Should be pretty fly for a white guy.
Right?
It could be a mega fly.
Why you got to bring race into this? Why you got to be a fly? Why can't it be a horse? Why can't it be a horse?
Because he said fly.
He said fly.
Anyway, so DMG, one of my favorite people. Sorry, excuse me. Warden's Seal. Still a couple of triumphs left to discover, available at a later date. Stay tuned. That was helpful.
I think that was because he was being pressed on Twitter. Many people asking, "Well, I've done this, this, and this. Why is it not unlocked?"
Mhm.
Yeah, why don't I have it? Because you've seemingly done everything in the game. He's saying there's more to come.
You hear that, Datto? More to come.
Bungie help. Players who are experiencing issues in the coup de grace mission are advised to slow down when damaging the High Celebrant. Players should wait a few seconds before shooting the Black Blight Orb. DMG replied to this saying, "It's not the best solution, but it is what we've got right now. Team is looking into the bug. In the meantime, if you'd like to get through the mission, bump the brakes ever so slightly." Which one is that?
That's the
us.
new mission this week.
That's the new mission that you're going to need to do a little soft pump.
Okay.
Yeah, which is basically
That crow.
if you go in with a coordinated team of 3 with swords, you can kill the Celebrant before he transports and yada yada. No one's doing that except for Glad and his buddies. So, yeah, if you're
I did it solo.
absolutely okay, well, and Night Demon and his solo buddies, Night Demon and other Night Demon.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're absolutely just smashing the thing before it dies, just take a second, take a breath, set the controller down, pick up your beverage, take a sip, and continue.
Speaking of taking your beverage, you should take a drink for the whole stay tuned thing, because that was completely pointless. All right. So, Bungie help. We've identified an issue where the exotic ship reward from the High Celebrant hunt was not properly showing that it is a rare chance reward in the activity description. Chances for this reward increase with each activity completion. Sandbox weapon balancing PvP. Have seen some folks saying that weapons feel amazing right now. Who is saying whatever? What's your thinking on this? Are you seeing more variety in the Crucible or finding more tools of destruction that you can use? If you have fun clips, share them. The only weapons that feel amazing right now are basically anything that has the freaking reconstruction perk. Let's be honest, right? I don't know what other weapons he's talking about.
We're not being honest.
No,
you're not being honest with the people.
I'm being very honest. That's the only weapons that I think feel any kind of good right now are the things with reconstruction. That's it. Sorry, I've said it. It's out there.
Scout rifles are feeling really good right now.
They're feeling really good.
PvP.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. They're really good. But, again, there's a scout rifle that has, are you ready for it? Reconstruction! Woo!
Yeah,
Yes.
for those of us who haven't raided 6 times a week and don't have anything with reconstruction and only do have one trustee with a redirection perk on it, I've been playing with the Patreon Lost Causes and having really good fun with that. I've been playing with it, just a different variety of things, trying out different things, and yeah, I don't know. Scout rifles feel good for the first time, possibly ever.
I've enjoyed using my unobtainable now True Prophecy hand cannon.
Because if it's the one I think of, yeah, that's an amazing one. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
it's amazing.
So, Patron of Lost Causes, full auto explosive payload. That one?
Full auto Vorpal weapon in my case.
Vorpal weapon's not bad either. That's definitely a good scout rifle. Big fan. All right, anyway.
Rifle with full auto on it, which is what I'm trying to stick with because I don't like pulling the trigger more than once.
Did you say an auto rifle with full auto? What'd you say?
Scout rifle with full auto.
I was going to say, aren't they all? I mean, all right. Happy New Year. Team is excited to be back. Emails are flying by. Lots of tackle. First up, Shadow Dive. This ability has been a big topic the last few days. Team is looking into it. Please don't. More info in coming weeks on how this will be tuned. Son of a... You know what? Why don't I even try?
Tuned. He didn't say nerfed. Tuned.
Whatever, man. A tune is enough. When has anything ever been tuned for the better? Ever.
Many times.
Give me an example.
When they brought Nova Warp back up.
So you think that something that people are complaining about that is too powerful is going to be tuned for the better?
Look.
No,
If
but we've
Supreme Datto says it's too powerful. If Lord Supreme Aztecross says it's too powerful, obviously Bungie must bow to them.
Yeah, I'm just done having this topic of conversation.
Whatever, man. They always got to nerf hunters, man. It's just always hunters. Many things. That's why I hate DMG. He's probably a Titan too. I bet. I guarantee
He isn't doing anything. He's not
He's a
writing any
community manager.
code,
No, hey, DMG, grow a damn spine and say there's nothing wrong with it. Stop complaining about it. If all you Titans have one-shot abilities, let us have one. Damn it.
His job is to talk to the community and bring things back. He is the face of Bungie, so the other people who do the work don't have to deal with hunters screaming at them.
Be
Can actually get the work
and grow a damn spine. Many thanks to those that have been given feedback season over season. Cheers to those who have detailed what makes the experience feel wonderful to them while giving constructive feedback on detractors. Always eager to pass this up and always appreciate your time. Take a drink. Snagging and passing up feedback on the Dawning Quest. Take a drink. Looking at community events all up, really. Looking at community events all up, really. Okay.
looking at all community events.
Thanks to everyone who's given feedback on these community events over the last year. Always appreciate your voices. Like I said, take a drink. No twab today. Coming back next week. Excited to go loud again. Take a drink. Cosmo on the true prophecy. True prophecy was removed due to adding the 7th Seraph hand cannon and wanting to make sure the whirlpool has a balanced distribution. What's true prophecy? I'm trying to remember.
Hand cannon.
Yeah, but
Can we
The
talk
hand
about
cannon I mentioned about 2 minutes ago.
yeah, but what's it from?
Just a
Doesn't-
normal loophole.
Whole loophole. Okay. Has balanced distribution. Those two, along with the dire promise, would mean players would be getting more kinetic hand cannons over other drops in the world pool, and our goal is to ensure players have a wide variety of archetypes in the world pool. Reddit link.
But then stop introducing exotic hand cannons.
Thank you,
and
Damon.
there's too many hand cannons. We've removed a hand
You know-
cannon, but we brought you a new hand cannon.
Speaking of stuff, I read it
Check.
this morning, but I didn't read it here. I don't know where I was reading. I thought you posted it somewhere, but I guess not. But I was reading somewhere this morning about how some people are upset about the rewards we got from the Dawning event. Yeah, we were upset because we were expecting something good from a community event that had an exotic reward at the end, right? I mean, there were all kinds of speculations. Maybe a catalyst for one of the exotics that we don't have. Maybe a new exotic weapon. Maybe a new exotic anything, right? But no, you had an opportunity. You made people bake cookies until they puked, right? Santa now has diabetes. Thank you, Bungie, right? You did all this crap the community did all this crap because we were excited about an exotic reward. And it was
Did I totally miss the exotic reward?
what?
Did I completely miss what the exotic reward was?
It was nothing, dude. You got like
What do you mean it was nothing?
it was nothing. You had like it gave you a golf ball.
Yeah.
And it gave you a freaking see, look, I can't even remember. It wasn't even worth it.
Look, it was worth it. It was totally worth it. I got a golf ball out of it for free. I was quite happy.
It wasn't for free though.
It was.
You baked all those cookies, or
I baked 120 cookies and that was it.
yeah, but it wasn't for.
To get my triumph done.
And it
Yeah,
wasn't free as far as the community is concerned, because even if you didn't bake cookies, other people did, right?
I did bake cookies. I contributed
No,
my
I'm just
120
saying,
cookies for my triumph.
Even
I did the same thing.
other people did.
Then
Some people worked their asses off. People were AFK farming. People were actually farming because they wanted to know
Why?
what was in that box. And it was
Yeah, like
Why?
you didn't need to do any of that. I played very casually and basically baked
I'm
cookies.
going to go back. Sorry.
Like you
sorry.
didn't need to farm that hard. Bungie always adjusts the goal to make sure we hit it.
Mhm.
The people that worked their butts off on it, there's no reason to. There was never a reason to. I played very, very casually, got my thing done, and basically the last week of the event didn't do anything with the oven because there was no reason to it.
Well, clearly these
Yeah.
two guys disagree. And I know more of you out there disagree, but I was extremely disappointed by it. I was.
Well, I'm
I
going
was.
to go back to what Datto said at the beginning that we went over. So much to do and none of it matters. It's a game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but as a game, you should have something fun in the thing that you work to
It
acquire.
did. They gave you a free golf ball. You had to do nothing. Some people had to do absolutely nothing. It was a community event. And if people got on and just did a few things, it contributed to the event.
Wait 3 weeks to get a golf ball. Ooh.
For free.
Doesn't matter. Was it free? You had 3 weeks. You had to wait.
Yes.
Right?
Did you have to pay for it? You didn't have to pay for it. You didn't have to do anything.
Whatever.
You logged in, talk to the grandma, you got a golf ball.
Opportunity.
I didn't have to spend 45 minutes in a Grandmaster Nightfall to try and get one. I got one.
It could have been something better. Could have been a catalyst. Could have been a weapon.
I spent that 45 minutes with my family at Christmas enjoying a film, all together, huddled around the fire, eating popcorn. It was nice. And I got a golf ball at the end of it. Thank you, Bungie.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. Respawn doesn't.
Respawn hates all community events. He's just angry about everything because what you know. I don't even care.
No, I like the Halloween one. The Halloween one was nice. Well, it was fun, I guess.
Let's just go with that. Moving on.
All right. Anyway, they do have 2.
You get all the way to the second one. How are you lost already?
No. Good. What did Nitedemon literally just say about hand cannons? And the next sentence, they have 2 new 120 hand cannons coming next season for anyone who's joining that sub-archetype.
Again, I'm gonna give you less hand cannons. I'm gonna put the hand back in the game. Hashtag hand cannons.
Oh, God.
And if you are enjoying those 120 hand cannons, when Iron Banner rolls around, there are 2 variations that are in the loot pool.
That's right.
There's the steady hand and the criminal stagger, which you can get from just throwing tokens at Lord Saladin.
It's ridiculous. Why are they obsessed with hand cannon? Do either one of you know why? Am I just missing the
Because
it's a hand cannon game.
Yeah, because top tier time to kill, hand cannon accuracy, bragging rights, look at me go, hand cannon users.
That's why I switched to Hunter with a hand cannon for PvP comp.
I mean, if you're not running a Hunter and a hand cannon, there is no other way to play. You need a hand cannon and a shotgun and a stasis subclass on your Hunter, and you're good. That's it.
No, I run with me bow, the Monarch bow, because they don't expect the bow. They expect that when you're peeking, that it's a sniper. It's not. It's a bow. I can fire it many times. I have 64 shots. I can just keep going over and over again. I don't care if I miss. If I get you in the body, it's still going to do a damage stick.
No, sir. You play like a sensible hunter. You have to run flat out at people, hop around with your either shotgun or your hand cannon.
No. I run the opposite way back to my team.
No,
I don't run towards the people. If there's 3 of them running towards me, I run towards my teammates. I use the mobility in the opposite way.
Anyway, wife saw like I turned the heater on, but it's still 68. You gotta wait. I did. No, you didn't. Whatever. All right. So anyway, I disagree on everything they said about hunters. So, Banshee's inventory is random, thus susceptible to bad RNG streaks. Banshee is requiring sunset materials to buy upgrade modules. Will fix itself in season 13, where they are no longer sold. But the team is looking to see if they can get a change in the short term that lowers the weighing of old materials so they don't show up as often. Now, I understand Xur's stuff is random. Totally get that. But
it's not Xur.
Banshee, sorry. Banshee stuff is random. But you could put caps on that stuff, dude. You could put filters on that. You could do a lot of stuff, Bungo.
They are. Season 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the 13. Yeah.
Just because you've been playing over Christmas doesn't they're entitled to a break as well.
I didn't play over Christmas. I played all the time.
This is why you don't deserve the dawning present.
They don't make delicious. Sorry, I was going to say delicious because I was thinking of dawning and cookies, but it says decisions, not delicious. They don't make decisions solely on a few voices, but welcome feedback from everyone. A list of feedback points about the raid has been forwarded. See source. Team knows about the feedback surrounding Rift animations conflicting with getting frozen and thawed. Take a drink! Feedback is being gathered regarding crossplay. I swear to God, I thought that said cosplay.
The goal is this. I'm having a stroke because how he wrote this. The goal is to allow you to be able to play with your friends. So we definitely don't want to cut off PC console crossplay altogether. I'll let the team know that players would like some options available to control how crossplay works in competitive modes like Crucible and Gambit forums. Yeah, you could easily have crossplay.
Amen.
You could have crossplay enabled Crucible as an icon and non-crossplay Crucible as an icon. Problem solved, Bungie. I did your work for you. Cool. Moving on. DMG has things to say. I like having those long pauses because I can't tell if I broke out or whatever, or if I disconnected. Team has been looking into the moats in Gambit being hard to collect. What? Oh, you mean like
You
actual
can't
pick up? Like
Yeah.
you stand on top of it, you don't pick it up kind of thing?
entire team runs over the moat and no one has picked the moat up.
Yeah, that. Yeah, no, I've seen that too. Yeah, I get that.
That's not new. I'm glad they're finally aware of it because
It's not new, but it has gotten worse. Like I did
That's
notice that.
what I just said. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, you did say that. They have some slight improvements for next season. Reddit link. Want to set expectations correctly. There will still be times where a teammate ends up snagging a moat instead of you. I mean, at least he got it though, right? Instead of
Right.
everybody standing over it and nobody gets it, right?
Somebody picked it up.
Right. But the team is definitely working on this to make it feel a bit better. It gets tricky with networking latency, how the game gives priority to another player instead of you. That said, we definitely know it can be frustrating to stand on a pool of 12 moats and only get 3, or to have to double back after running over them. We hope the improvements will make this feel better in the heat of the moment. Yeah, because yeah. Mida catalyst drop rates are being looked into. Oh, so wait a second. Are you telling me that when you get 5,500, you don't just get it? It's an actual drop rate? What? Can you tell I've never been at 5,500? Yeah, it shows. Cold front rolling with Dragonfly isn't intentional, being investigated. Joe Blackburn, did I read this stuff? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, it says ultimate goal here is to make it feel like Vault of Glass felt the first time you did it. The Raid team is responsible for the Vault of Glass remake. Went back into the original version of PlayStation 4 just to see how it felt.
You said that 3 weeks ago.
Did I?
Yeah, we talked about this already.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, there you go. Listen to the show
Is that you done?
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Walter is coming back. Hopefully, we'll be better now than we were then. And with that, friends, actually, do you have tips, tricks, and guides? I'm sorry.
I do.
Okay, I was going to close it and then realized it's tips, tricks, and guides time. So,
Okay, well, I will quickly run through these tips, tricks, and guides because people are probably bored now waiting if they're up. They do wait till the end to get these. So Cheese Forever has quite a few this week, and one in particular is really interesting. Skipping all of the Empire Hunt right to the final boss for this week's anyway, the Warrior Empire Hunt, and it works on a 1280, so you can skip and go straight to the end. That's quite interesting, and that's glitching through different holes in the map. I think you do have to require a sword for that. He has a Hawk Moon glitch with double paracausal shots, and it works in PvP and PvE. There is an easy Grandmaster Nightfall the Ordeal glitch that you can use, and that was for the Glassway Nightfall. So when that comes back around, that would be worth watching. One for you, Respawn. Faster Mask of Backris cooldown and how to do it. And one for the solo Warlock. Hang on.
Post that damn link.
I will. It'll be in the show notes. And one for the single Warlock that's out there. The longer Warlock Shadebinder Super. Cheese has a video on how to make it even longer than what it is. So that's a thing. Patagates Gaming. And I've highlighted him over the last couple of weeks. He's done a couple of really long YouTube videos with a couple of YouTubers, and they've done like PvP talks. And this week, the title of it is called Trials Made Easy, featuring Lemma. But it's not just specifically on Trials. There's a lot of PvP talk in there and a lot of useful information, and I found it really, really nice to listen to and really informative. So if anybody is, again, wanting to up their game in PvP, it's worth a watch. He also has one on Does Resilience Matter? And this is an up-to-date version of several other people's ones that have been put out there, and regarding stasis and what you can do and what you can, and does it really matter, basically. So that's worth a watch. Peroty mentioned Fallout Plays has got a complete beginner's guide for The Last Wish in 2021. No experience needed, so that's worth a watch if you are wanting to get into the raids. He also has the Raid Challenge 3 and 4, I think, that I missed last week because I didn't put any of the tips tricks in. So we have the Raid Challenge is cover 4, and of all trades, I think that's the other one. Abiao has Penguin number 8 and number 9. Again, because I missed last week's, but they are still available. And Ninja Pups, if you missed all of them, has all the penguins on his guide. And just to blow Respawn's mind at the moment, I'm going to give everybody a link that Respawn will love. It's called D2 Gunsmith. Wait for him to type it in. Search for it.
Tell me what it is.
D2gunsmith.com.
No, tell me what it is.
Okay, so if you go to d2gunsmith.com, you can search for any weapon. So say you want to have a look at a True Prophecy, because I've got one up on my screen at the moment. You can select the True Prophecy that was available. You can then go down the list of perks, and it'll tell you which ones are good for PvE, PvP. You can select, and it will put those in the top bar. It will then also change the
stats
on the bar to show you, how much impact, range, stability, handling, reload speed, aim assist, zoom. You could then put in a masterwork of your choosing and a mod as well to see which role you prefer to try and get. And this works for any weapon in the game. And I think this was again on one of the Patacakes videos that I watched. He'd mentioned it a couple of weeks back and I forgot to put it in the show notes. So I'm specifically mentioning it now. Anybody out there looking for like the Arctic Haze, which is the 720 RPM auto rifle that you can get from Varix on Europa, you can have a look at what really good rolls that you can get. There's some really nice ones with Subsistence and Thresh, like Respawn keeps going on about, or with Unrelenting, Dragonfly, Elemental Capacitor. So yeah, you pick and choose and see what's the best for you, or what can actually roll and what actually it does for the stats, rather than wait to see what rolls do drop and then having to go on dim to compare it to something else. So you can actually look at ahead what you actually kind of want to build in your arsenal.
Indeed, this is kind of dope. I'll give it that.
And that's it. That's me done. That's another week recorded. Another week
recorded, baby.
Thanks for hanging out while we drop our EP. Thank you for joining.
You're breaking up real bad, homie.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's try that again.
Cool.
Let's take it back and go. Thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your Hunter, as he will never, ever let you forget, is no one respawns in real life.
Damn right.
Your other Hunter, out in the mists, collecting all the lore, bringing it back, is not ARF. You can email the show at 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find the show on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. We're on Instagram and Facebook as 2titans and a hunter. You guessed it, friends. If you need raid help, just go to Respawn. He'll explain it to you very peacefully and concretely and tell you exactly what to do. But just go watch those guides first. If you're looking for actual help, go to lfg.frozen.party, because the Guardian Hub and Guardian Downcast are, running lots of things. We're getting people through things, and they'll probably be nice and explain it to you as well. We're really here just for raid, hindrance, trials, hurt, and giggling. You can find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live, Respawn on PC, Nitedemon exclusively on the Nintendo Switch version that's secretly in development. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. And just remember, friends, when you're chasing that god roll, be sure to ask which god. With that, say goodnight, gents.
Good night, gents.
Cheerio.
Deuces.
We miss juices. You can't do it every week. Doesn't make sense. Da, da, da. Right, I've got all my bits of paper. I think I'm ready
So,
to go.
all right, hold on.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not
The
going to tell you what.
story.
I'm not
The
going to tell you what
story.
it's about, right?
What's
But-
what about?
I was a
we'll
comment
never know.
I made to my sister-in-law. Okay.
Oh, see,
Um,
look, this is the random
no.
story.
No,
at the
this
be-
is
in the
not going to
beginning.
be in the show. This is not going to be in the show.
It
but
could
it is
be.
funny because
It might
Well,
all
I'm
get the
definitely
show.
you all
putting it in
know
the show,
me
then.
as a person, right?
I'm
I
putting
am
it in the show.
sarcastic all the time, right? That
Might
is
be
like
giving up
a
editing. It should all
core
be in the show.
feature of my personality, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And so I was talking to my sister-in-law and I said, no, you're absolutely right. We should totally focus on somebody's flaws because obviously flaws are so much more important than their accomplishments. In fact, we shouldn't stop there. We should hold our children to the same standards. Our kid brings home a macaroni noodle, rip it up, throw it in the trash, tell them how bad a person they are, right? And then she
Sounds good.
goes,
Mhm.
and she said something else, right? Reiterating what she had already said that sparked my first comment. And then I said, what are you talking about? I'm agreeing with you. I just said personality flaws are significantly more important than accomplishments, and we should hold our children to those standards. And she goes, oh, I thought you were being sarcastic. And I was like,
I mean, yes, but
did you read?
It's the boy who cried wolf. You do it so often, people just think you're being sarcastic.
exactly.
Yeah, but
And now,
like,
and now where there's a wolf,
you
there's no
would
help
think
for
the
you.
whole holding your children to something as ridiculous as that would have rung the bells that sarcasm is involved. And she agreed with it. I'm
No,
like,
children should be held to things. Children are the worst. Have you met children?
yep, I've met quite a few, raised 7, owned 2.
And the others are trapped in his van somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the van.
He's got candy. It's fine.
They're not in the van. If I'm here, obviously they've been moved from from the van to the basement.
Ah, yes.
Well, that doesn't make for a quick getaway at all.
Yeah.
You have to think about the best way to escape at all times. I mean, come on. They're just there in the basement. They could be making the way out right now. They could be shoveling out with tiny spoons.
You assume that there's a way out, homie.
Oh, there's always a way out. Given enough time and patience and the slightest materials, there's a way out. So thank you for joining us this week. This has been our show. Come back next week.
2 Titans and a Warlock, actually. Because I like playing Warlock sometimes. So, I'm sorry, not 2 Titans, 2 Hunters.
No,
and a Warlock.
we'll go with that. 2 Titans and a Warlock.
Damn it.
Heard it here first.
That's going to be clipped.
And now I can say it that we finished. Props to Craig and Geark for both hanging out this week and causing no problems.
I love how you waited till the end, by the way.
I'm not trying to jinx it halfway through. I'm not trying to jinx it, 30 minutes in.